everybody. Welcome to Fresh Out the Box Plays Dune by Modifius Entertainment. I am the Game Master, Johannanon.
Co-host Casualty CDG. I'm a retired child crimes and human trafficking detective turned tabletop titan and improv comedian.
My bad. Hi, I am 80 Springer, also known as Corbidian. Used to be a music radio host turned Twitch variety streamer of tabletop RPGs and video games. Also working on my own tabletop game, but I will hawk that at a later date.
Oh, that sounds dope, though. Hi, I'm Laura, known as Laura K483 on all the social platforms. A variety streamer on Twitch, both video game content, and then I'm a player in the Dungeon Select D&D campaign, and I'm just beginning my journey in learning to be a dungeon master as well. I ran my first one-shot a few weeks ago.
Nice.
And it was nerve-wracking as heck. Less nerve-wracking than this, though. And yeah, I'm excited.
And then Calder.
Calder, go. You got this.
Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm Calder. I'm new to, well, not totally new to streaming. I'm kind of like new to talking apparently. Sorry. I'm new to streaming with this channel. I've streamed before the Contagion Chronicle for Onyx Path and a few private games. I'm I'm a trained actor. Apparently not when I don't have lines. But I have been playing tabletop games like since the late '90s. So I'm very excited. I've been a Dune fan for about as long as well. So it's going to be very exciting to play this. Yeah, that's all I have for now. I'll probably have a better introduction next week. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Calder.
It's all right. If you want, I can make you something like Tabletop Titan, or what are you, Jahan, the board game game master extraordinaire.
Oh, sure.
So we can run some titles through the Discord and see what we come up with.
Howdy, y'all. Thomas Avenger down here in Houston, voice actor, practicing artist, art teacher, and maker of crispy shell tacos this evening. I'm excited to jump in this thing. Thanks for joining us. Let's see how this game works, Jahan. Take it away, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Dune: Adventures in the Imperium is a game by Modifius, and they won a game TTRPG of the year at the Ennies at Gen Con this year for this game. So I'm excited to be playing it, running it. I know some stuff about Dune. I'm not a historian by any means. I am slowly learning more and more about the lore, but I am excited to play. This game is a 2D20 system. And today,
how big of a deal is it that they won that award, Jahan?
It's a huge
sort of
deal.
Like a casual to that world.
It's a huge deal. Yeah, no. And they deserve it. From everything I can tell, when we were reading this book, we were very impressed with everything. All the rules for character creation, from the stats to the focuses, all of them build lore simultaneously while adding to gameplay, and that's just an impressive feat.
Yeah, as a person who really enjoys the roleplay aspect of these games, it puts roleplay into the very beginning. You don't have to think of it.
So exciting.
It's tasty.
It is very tasty. So we're going to do everything today, from making characters to making a house as a group. So you guys will all kind of decide what you want your house to be like. And when I say your house, I mean the house that you're going to be working primarily with. It'll all be the same house, whether or not you have other loyalties to the Spacing Guild or CHOAM or any of the other organizations. That is good and encouraged.
So that's one of my biggest fears in this setting, is that I'm gonna do it wrong. That I don't know enough about Dune, and I might be too Star Trekky, or people might think it's too Stargate, and I don't know a lot about Dune, right? I want to play it, and I want to do it right.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think it's kind of, I'd say like a bit like Star Trek, but everybody's terrible, and everything is colonialism.
Yeah,
So it's not like Star Trek at all.
Star Trek with colonialism. There you go.
Okay, so just
Oh,
play it
no.
like Star Trek should be close
Star
enough.
Trek with like the traditional Dune book. It's Star Trek with a little bit of colonialism, a tiny bit of misogyny, and a lot of white savior complex. And you got Dune.
Yeah,
But, like,
you got it. You
somehow
nailed it.
still great, even though it has lots of glaring flaws.
I mean-
That is Dune. From my remembered reading of the book.
I mean, like, it's sort of like it's trying to undermine like the white savior complex by saying no, it's a bad thing actually. Like, I mean, he's got like he gets what he wants, but then realizes, oh no, I've made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Pursuing all of this.
it seems a common theme in Dune, which will fit all of us learning, is failing a lot. Everyone realizes after the fact that they have done something horrible. So it sounds pretty fun. I was reading
Is
about
it cocaine fueled nightmare?
Butlerian
Or fueled
jihad.
nightmare? I don't know. It depends on what scene you're in.
Yeah, I was reading about the Butlerian jihad. I don't think I'm saying that right because it has the word.
That's
but.
how I say it.
That's how
That
you
is
say it.
exactly how you say it.
Okay. I was reading about that, and that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I don't know, it's interesting. Their religions are interesting, all that stuff. We're going to be learning together a little bit. I'm going to be doing history lessons at the beginning of every session. But yeah, so I can read a little bit of something for you guys to try and kind of, get you in the right mindset here. They
Get
do
the
have an
brain
introduction.
wheels rolling.
Yeah. So just so everybody has like a taste, something, so that you're not going in completely blind.
What do you have? Is that a milkshake, Laura?
It's just water, but it's in a Harry Potter mug.
Ooh,
For a moment, I thought you had an entire milkshake, and I was all the way jealous.
Nah.
The
So
straw.
you're gonna help
chooses
me
the
name
wizard.
the house Ravenclaw.
or something like kind of like so we can scrub like the serial number off, like pro talent or something.
We'll make 4 unrelated houses.
Oh God. Oh.
Yeah, let's base our house off of a Harry Potter house. This will be fun. But yeah, so we're beginning in the year 191. This isn't our setting. This is just the introduction of the book of the Imperial Calendar, a time of feudal politics, deadly assassins, and political rivalry. In a universe where humanity is spread across thousands of planets, with this core rulebook, you and friends can take on the roles of agents of a powerful noble house, looking to carve out a place in the complex society of the Imperium. In this age, humanity is not just advanced, but evolved. Some people have minds like computers, able to store and process data with perfect accuracy. Others have learned unique Bene Gesserit martial arts skills that allow them incredible control over their nerves and muscles, making them lightning-fast, lethal combatants.
Who is that?
The Bene Gesserit.
The Bene Gesserit.
The witches.
That's fucking dope.
The all-female organization full of
So we all know what
badassery.
I'm playing immediately.
That's dope.
Samesies.
There you go. Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to have one. I was excited for it because they are very cool.
Hey, Jahan, can
yes.
you switch to the Discord chat instead of the Roll20 chat?
Sorry.
Yes.
Calder's having a hard time hearing you.
Oh.
I don't know what it is with my computer. So sorry.
It's fine.
that
It's
better
all
for you?
good.
No, it's not fun.
Can you hear me, Calder?
Yes, now I can.
Okay,
I don't know
cool.
what. Okay.
It literally doesn't have any bearings on the stream whatsoever, so it's not a big deal.
Okay. And I also cannot hear Corbinian.
What's a different time?
Something thinking machines. We're talking about Dune. Like, this is the problem.
This
of
is
them.
why they got rid of the AI
Yeah.
and all the machines and Dune.
Yes, it is why they got
It's
it.
like the wrong family, it's the reason.
For those of you that don't know, there are no computers in Dune
Yes.
because they
They
had kind of a
trained
Matrix thing happen.
They went a bit Matrix without the same justifications that the Matrix machines had. They just.
So
At least I don't think so. But,
some have even developed strange powers of deduction and prophecy. For this, they are often called witches. Then there is the spice. This is an important part here. This substance is the driving force behind the entire civilization of the Imperium. Without it, the Spacing Guild could not pilot their great Highliner spacecraft across space in an instant, and several factions would be unable to use their abilities that grant them their power. Even for the less developed people of the Imperium, spice extends human life, even doubling it, and the promise of more years will make some people do daring and desperate things. But spice is only found on one planet in the entire universe, the planet Arrakis. It is a hostile desert world of deadly sandstorms and great worms. There is not a drop of rain has ever fallen. So the freemen people of the deep desert know Arrakis by the name. They call it Dune. So yeah, that's the universe of Dune. It's a complex, fascinating place. But the rules and details provided in this book, you can politic with the Emperor, rule a noble house, and fight deadly duels like an agent of the Imperium. But that's kind of like a little snapshot, a little taste. If you don't know, yes, the spice must flow. He who controls the spice controls the universe. That kind of thing. One of the cool things I think about in this game, so the Spacing Guild, they're able to teleport like ships like instantaneously by folding space. But they can only do this because they take so much spice they can see the future, so they can see where they're going to end up. And I just think that's really cool. Because they don't have computers capable of doing the calculations necessary, so they have to use drugs to see the future. And
we literally get so high, we see the future, and that allows us to science.
I love it. That's my favorite.
I see some Oreos in my future.
It's my absolute favorite thing. So yeah, that was on page 2. That was on page 2 of the book. That's what I was reading. But so chapter 2 is a little bit of like backstory and that kind of stuff in this book. You guys can read whatever you feel like about that. You don't have to be a historian to play this game. You just have to have fun. But we're going to open up in chapter 3, creating your house.
Because obviously you can't play in one of the houses established in the book, because you'd be tempted to follow the narrative already told. So you have to make your own and fit.
They're like super powerful and like you don't.
Well, no, because they give you a choice. You can be like baby house that barely anyone even gives a shit about, and you haven't even made a name for yourself, or you can be like the Targaryens of Dune, and it's up to you.
Yeah.
But and the bigger your house is, the more people will dislike you because.
You start with more cards stacked against you, and the DM has more threat points to use against you if you're a big house.
Yeah, this game has a threat point system. Lots of cool stuff. Momentum is exciting. But yeah, one thing before we start, here's something to think about. I'm pretty sure we're going to play in the time of the Imperium, because that's like the most well known. And I think that's what everyone's going to be hungry for with the movie coming out. And it's the only time I really understand.
True.
But the other times that you can play in this game, Butlerian Jihad, and that's the time of revolution, change, and war, when you're doing the war against the thinking machines.
The robot overlord.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then there's Reconstruction, which takes place after, where everything kind of settles into the current form. And then the Imperium is the obvious Dune books kind of timeline, like the original. And some of the prequels. And then there's the Ascension, the Era of the God Emperor, the Scattering, and the Age of the Enemy. So you can really, they set you up to be able to play in any of the books. They even tell you which book is when. So that's pretty cool. But I think we're going to be doing the Imperium, unless someone like really wanted something else, but I don't know.
I do think we should do the Imperium, but just for what it's worth, the Butlerian Jihad sounds awesome.
Right, because you get to RP during the war against the robots.
I'm not against it. I'm not saying no if everyone really wants to, but just understand, you will be fighting machines a lot.
Machines. Why does it have the machine trait? They all have the machine trait.
One problem with that is the character I have in mind is not very helpful against machines. It's all about like the voice and the muscle in the body, all these things that are humans are susceptible to, and
Yeah, I
machines
think
not so much.
Yeah.
I think the intrigue is a big part of this setting, right?
That's
So
true. Mhm.
less straightforward robot war, the more intrigue, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like everyone's pretty hungry for like the classic taste of this game.
Yeah.
So
You just immediately homebrew it. The robots are T1000.
got you guys
I
playing.
just imagine like Frank. Like, I just imagine Frank Herbert watching it. Kind of like, I wrote other books besides the first one. Like, yeah, we don't care.
We only want the first one, Frank.
I wrote 6 books. I don't care. Like, we don't care. But I think it's the most kind of like approachable, also for audiences. So
Let's have a book club where every week we ask how much drugs he was on at each stage. Of the
Enough to see the future sales of each book.
I mean, didn't he only write the very first one because then he died in the rest, or he had lots of notes and it was like his family and other like
he-
ghostwriters?
No,
and
he
stuff?
actually wrote quite a few.
Oh,
He
okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I think 6
Or maybe-
altogether. But now his son is like writing all the
Yeah.
ones based off of the notes.
Yeah, his son did like all the prequels and then like a bunch of other stuff.
in side
Tolkien
quotes
style.
and.
He only made one book that made sense though, so that might be what you're thinking about.
Wow, hot take! Hot take! But I mean, yeah, I think the first two, the first 3 kind of like are nice, like bookended. But that's why the Sci-Fi Channel made the whole series out of them and stopped after those.
So yeah, anyone who wants to read about any of the schools you can go to, they're in chapter 2 as well. And they have everything from the Bene Gesserit, the Mentat School, the Suck Doctor School. I think it's Suck. It's S-U-K.
Suck
It's soup.
doctors.
No,
I was
it's soup.
saying it like soup, but
I
just
feel like
the
we should
suck
say
sounds a
soup.
bit-
Just
You
to
want to insult
avoid-
a doctor? Hey, doc, how you doing? Oh, look, buddy, that's not how you say it. I know.
I'm a Suck Doctor.
Aren't they that band from the 90s?
Suck Doctor.
Oh my god!
Little miss can't be wrong.
Let's make a house
Let's
in
make a house.
Imperium, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited
Do-
for this.
Do we want to have a baby house so we don't have trouble, or do we want to be trouble? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, how big? I think that's the first question.
Well, yeah, they give you like an order of operation in the book to do it, and that's
Yeah.
the first thing you need to figure out is what size of house you are.
Yeah, so
house type.
here we are. Yeah, here we are. We're on. And so this is on page 86.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be taking notes because everything you guys say is going to shape this
Oh, no.
campaign.
I
Everything?
do
I like-
not.
Everybody, be careful
Good
now.
old pen and paper character sheet and house sheet.
I
Oh,
do
yeah.
not want to be House Targaryen for what it's worth.
No.
No, you do not want
It's
to.
more fun to be like baby house clawing for
Yeah,
power, I think,
'cause then
and
we can
rising
infiltrate.
than to be the big house and just trying to protect yourself.
Underestimated.
I don't disagree. So your options here, all of you have to kind of come to a consensus here. You can be a nascent house, which is like very small. It's the smallest house you can be. The house is only just acquired minor house status. They might have distinguished themselves in a battle or at court, or perhaps developed a device or skill that might prove extremely valuable. At this point, the house is only a noble family with a small retinue and a little land grant, granted to them by their patron house, who controls the planet they reside on. However, as new rivals to the Imperial stage, they have no real enemies. So, like, you're starting, you don't have a lot of power, but you don't have a lot of enemies either.
Yeah.
And then House Minor, one step up from that, and then there's House Major and Great House. There are mechanical effects of this. It chooses kind of how many things you get to pick when it comes to, like, specialties, and also affects how many enemies you're going to have. Let's see, leaning Minor.
Yeah, I'm down for minor house. Because you get it
So,
gives you a
little
little
bit more,
loot
yeah,
to start
a
with,
little
but
bit
you're
more.
still small.
Thomas
We
and I
can
were
say
reading-
that. Do you know who my dad is? And they will know who my dad is.
And I mean, half of them will know, and half of them will be like, maybe.
You can be
Yeah,
the Draco
exactly.
Malfoy and run around being like, my
Yeah.
father will hear about this.
Is he the
Wait,
guy with a dealership over in Mauriceville? Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like, kind of like, just making it kind of like a Malfoy house of people who kind of like are like assuming they're important, and people are just kind of like, yeah, we know you, we know you're there, but you're not that
No, calm
important.
down. We get it.
It would be entertaining because, like, do you know who we are? Yes, and we're all tired of you.
It
I
sounds
mean,
like
I would
you
like to
guys
be
kind
played
of.
by Jason Isaacs. I wouldn't mind.
It sounds like
Spend
you
my
guys kind
entire
of
life.
agree on Minor House.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine is
I vote
pretty
for
good start.
minor.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
So you guys are a minor house. The house is an established house minor.
Go.
One of the houses, one of the most important of the vassal houses that serve the same house major. The house has a strong tradition or dedication and service to their patron, but has not established itself far beyond their home planet. Their holdings will cover around a third of their world, or might be set up upon a moon controlled by their major house. However, they must constantly jockey for power amongst the other minor houses. So that's where you guys are at. That's you guys.
Mm-hmm.
After that, so house types and threat. So you're gonna have one threat per player. We're gonna start with 5 threat here. So that's interesting. I think those are just kind of points I can throw at you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your ammunition to make bad things worse or make something bad happen that wasn't already happening.
Yeah.
Those are your bennies in this game. You get equal to players like in Savage Worlds.
Yeah, it sounds like bennies
nice.
or churn or that kind of stuff. I've seen some
find
other things.
I find it funny that Nascent House has 0. It's like, no, you matter so little that no one wants. You're not threatening. It's like, so how do I get these points? Wait for them to screw up or tick someone off.
They're
Yeah,
like who?
Even the game master himself cannot use
Star
those
Lord.
points again.
You're that
Star Lord,
pathetic.
man.
So
So Nascent House is kind of like the Big Lebowski of houses. It's kind of just like, oh, you have the rug.
You got the
That's
wrong
it.
Lebowski, man.
Yep, basically.
So depending on your type, each house begins with one or more domains. As a minor house, you guys are going to have one primary and one secondary. Me and Gary already kind of did a mock house, and this is a pretty fun part. You guys get to decide what your house does.
Might want to either, if you don't have the book open, you might want to jot a few of these down. And for everybody at home, there's a few here. And so it may take us a second to agree on the few.
Yeah,
I mean, given that a few of us just IRL have backgrounds in like the world of acting either on stage or screen, I'm heavily biased because I'm a stage and event manager in real life, but I was leaning towards an artistic house, and that would be why we're still minor, because everyone's like, no one ever thinks the arts are as important as they are. No one gives a shit about them. You're just here to have a good time.
I ask this of like every stage manager because I've only ever stage managed once. Like, why do you do that to yourself, like professionally?
Well, I mean, I was already thinking about transitioning careers pre-pandemic because of the stress and the effect on my health, and then the pandemic kind of made a choice for me. But I still stage manage occasionally. Anyways, but if people aren't into the artistic house vibe, that's fine. I just thought
I would love that.
I think that immediately this game I think is so cool because when you say artistic house, then it starts to paint a picture already. Where if you're an artistic house, then your secondary could be religious, so you're a house that makes religious art. Or
Your secondary could also be
house could
espionage.
Espionage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where you're an art house who sneaks in.
Well,
And so there's all
that's
there's
how you
all
get your
these
spies
cool-
in through your traveling theater shows or stuff
It
like
is
that. Like, there's so many
exactly-
things.
Yeah, you could be playwright assassins.
That's what
Oh,
I
that's
was
out there.
That's what I was talking about when I said that this system just when you build your thing, it paints with flavor, and you're building something so much richer than a character sheet in this setting. Modifius does a great job with this.
Yeah, because even the first sentence under artistic domain, it says, artistic domains may not be very powerful, which, minor house, but they grant the house fame and respect across the universe. So it's like you don't have much financial or material power because you don't control a lot of resources. You're not making or providing something that people see as integral, yet also go without their bread and circus, go without their entertainment, watch what happens to humanity. So you're still important enough to be needed in minor house, but
So is artistic science just drug dealers?
Artsy
I mean,
science.
Man, if we're gonna be the world's best spice dealers, we're like, hey, we'll cut up a little something, make you feel a bit better. You know what I'm talking about?
Hold on to these
Throw in a
glow
Frito
sticks for a
Pop.
minute.
Yeah, we call this extra spicy.
Yeah. Because then also, if you went like artistic industrial, that could be like you make the tech that augments theater. Like you're the person who does the lighting, the sound, and all the
You're
fun
Mac.
things. So, like there's lots of things you can do.
Artistic
special
military
effects for
paints
this?
and blood.
so do we
Oh
do
my god.
So
do
another
like
Art of War.
artistic like do we do expertise, so it's like playwrights, poets, or like do we do workers, which are like actors, stage crew, or musicians, speakers?
Yeah, so that's the other part of this. So you pick your area of expertise within this domain. So you can be an artistic. Your area of expertise could be machinery, and that just means that you make the stuff for actors. You make stage effects and that kind of stuff. You can produce, which means that you make plays, poems, novels, comedy sketches. Expertise, yeah, would be playwrights and poets. And workers, obviously, that would be more of the traveling actors and whatnot.
Dune's longest performing vaudeville troupe.
No, it's like Cats. Cats is still going on. Like it's
No,
Oh,
quit.
man.
I will abandon this campaign so fast if we produce the equivalent of Cats. I'm fucking out. If Cats is even mentioned. No,
What
no.
about if we
It's
see
called Worms now. It's called
It's
Worms now.
either
Don't worry.
you or me, Laura, because it's cats or nothing.
Literally, we had a theater lecturer in my theater history class who was doing the timeline of major theater events, and then he's like, and then a dark
Cats.
day in theater happens, and he writes like 1980 whatever, and then just writes cats in big letters across the board.
Yikes.
Oh, man.
How about Phantom? Like different now. It's the same except for
And the UFO comes.
So it sounds like we're in consensus that our primary.
It does actually sound
domain
like you guys
is
agree on artistic.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But are we,
Primary
like,
artistic.
are we the basically like the performers or the writers of the? I guess it's like.
I think if we lean into the workers as our expertise, that could then lead into espionage as our secondary, because the secondary domain is what you do but not what you're known for, and you wouldn't want to be known
Yeah.
for espionage because no one would fucking associate
I'm-
you. So
Here's my business card. I'm a spy. You're bad at this.
I mean, that's technically what James Bond does. Like the moment you meet him, I'm James Bond. Like, yeah, we heard you the first time.
yeah.
So
But,
I'd
yeah,
like
no,
to
yeah,
make
makes
a
sense.
second argument besides espionage. It pairs nicely, but there is also Canley. But it just a
I
little
love
bit
Canley.
I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I like
ooh.
Canley. I was digging Canley.
And that's very like universe specific, which might make it also like interesting for the screen.
That's assassination. So it's like we get them into the places by being they're a traveling theater troupe, and then when the show's done and they leave, you kill them. You
And
kill them.
there's-
They're there to kill.
There's a
And
very
at
specific
that
rule
point-
set to Canley too, right? So we would
Yep.
show up and people would know what was going down. Like, this play's in town. These guys are gonna fucking kill somebody.
Yeah, but no one knows who, and everyone's like, oh, maybe I can. It's like, oh, but if you don't go to the play, then it's suspicious. Because what are you trying to hide? Like, why are you so concerned about being murdered? Why didn't you go?
I
Why
love
didn't you
that.
go to the show
Like-
last night?
Draft
Or-
kings dedicated
funny.
to our plays.
That's kind of like where the players in Hamlet, where you're trying to suss out like
Uh-huh.
who's suspicious. Is kind of like, well, who hasn't been to the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm the target of Can Lee, but if I don't go, I look like a chicken. So I'm just
I
gonna go,
look like-
dude.
So if you look under Canley, the different like subsects, expertise is one that is assassin masters, operation planners, and trainers. So not only could we be a traveling troupe, but we could also train other assassins for houses and stuff along the way.
Yeah, you don't have to be the actual assassins. You could train them,
True.
But
or
Yeah.
you can just provide entry.
Because also
for them.
logically, like we could, but we're likely we're not playing as like this narrative we're spinning. We're probably not playing as the actual traveling troupe itself because our Ursula House we're picking like a planet and setting on it, but it's like we're the ones who control. And we're kind of like the production managers of the troupe, and then like sending them out, and then maybe training them. Maybe some people go with them, some don't. Like we aren't necessarily.
You aren't necessarily.
Yeah,
No,
you're
you're
not
not
either.
wrong.
So we could be, but we,
you could
we don't
be.
know yet.
It's
Yeah.
really
Can Lee expertise.
Canley expertise.
maybe our house could have different ranks, like.
Or no,
the-
wouldn't Canley be the secondary domain, and
Yes.
then the expertise
Yes.
in there is the yeah.
Yeah, so right now you have primary artistic workers.
Mhm.
And then, secondary, you guys are talking about Canely, and then perhaps expertise. Is that what you guys want?
Maybe understanding means of assassination, not doing it, but also infiltration, but deadly combat. So if we have to get in a sticky,
Yeah,
do it.
I think the infiltration is key because obviously it's like if a traveling theater troupe comes, it's like you don't give them free reign to the house. It's like here's the only part of like the performance area you're allowed. So they would need to then know how to get to where they actually are going to be doing the killing because it's not going to happen right there in the crowd. They're not going to pull it like Lincoln assassination every time because that would get old.
I mean, if they pay extra.
Yeah.
Why is there a splash zone around that around Baron so and so? Don't worry
Why
about
are your balcony seats so cheap?
Please step into our John Willis.
Door under it. Does anyone else's seat have a trap door under it?
It's part of the show. Go with it.
I guess that's
Gallagher shows like with watermelons.
I guess that's the choice. You guys want to go with expertise or understanding?
I think understanding. I'm leaning towards understanding for Canley.
Oh, that's
Yeah. I could be
a lot there.
Because the means of assassination, because it comes with the infiltration, so if they need to do it outside of the immediate whatever they've been allowed, and then the means of assassination, because again they'd have to do it different every time. Because also I'm assuming, A, if they killed the same way every time, it would get harder. People would learn to protect from it. But B, it's part of their theatrical. Even that's part of the performance. Is how did they kill someone this time? How is it differed? So it's like people go to these knowing the risk of kill, but that's half the thrill and half the appeal. It's not just the show you're watching, but the show you hear about afterward and you maybe got to see.
Oh, this is so good. I love this story.
That is so Dune.
I like it so
making murder circuses. We're just making murder circuses to send around the universe.
We're the murder mystery troupe.
Oh my god.
We're also literally
Here's your envelope.
We're making a fancy political version of the trope you normally avoid in D&D, which is murder hobos. Because they don't know they go around.
Yeah, we are just doing that. We're just dressing it up.
I do like that it's sort of like under Canley, which is like the quote unquote acceptable like ways of like kind of murdering people. Basically, kind of like it's like
we're the civilized way of doing it.
What's
more civilized than doing it at the theater?
I'm gonna go to a DM support group after this. You know what my players did? They're all bards.
We found a campaign without bards, and yet we made.
We're all
bards.
assassin bards.
I love it. Like I barely have to write anything with this. Like I can. This story writes itself. So Canley understanding, I
having
believe.
a difficult time hearing Calder.
Family understanding and artistic workers.
Artistic workers.
Yeah, primary autistic workers, secondary Canley understanding, and you can even gain more of these. They can switch in the future depending on your growth. But damn, that house has been made. So yes, the next step thing to do on this. But what kind of homeworld do you guys want to be from?
Yeah, the choice is we get 1/3 of the world, the planet we're on, or we can have a small moon because we're small enough we can't control all the territory.
Yeah.
So what are we feeling? Just 1/3 of a planet or a moon? First question.
Yeah, I guess that's a good place to start.
I like moon.
The flavor of moon is fun.
Flavor of moon is very flavorful. Robust.
We're the Moon Warriors. We're come to punish you. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh my god. That made me happy. You don't know. Okay, so we've decided it's gonna be a small moon. Do we have to decide what planet it's listen? And I'm good with it,
sure.
but like, whereas everyone else is just a bit like clearer.
I'll try to change the audio setting on it.
I turned you up a bit to see if that helps.
Thank you. Okay, better now or?
A little bit.
Okay, now.
All right.
Get it all dialed in.
So, it says it's usually defined by their primary domain, but our domain being artistic workers, that doesn't matter. We can do that anyway. We can make art anyway.
Yeah, you can do that pretty much anywhere. It does. I mean, it can imply stuff.
Okay, put it up to 100%. Is it better now? It doesn't go higher than.
No, you sound fine to me.
Okay, good.
So
Maybe you just if we pick somewhere, even though it's a moon, maybe it's like a shockingly temperate and maybe lush moon because it says it's rich in whatever. Like that's why it's a foundation of your business. So to have lots of people and I would think artistic inspiration, it would either need to be very aesthetically pleasing because that like beauty inspires art and also just easy to live on. So then a plethora of people. Because if it was very like it can't be like Arrakis hard to live on because there wouldn't be.
Yeah.
You're talking about living on indoor right now.
Basically,
it's hard to learn how to assassinate people if the place you're from's not full of people.
And if the place you're from wants to kill you because you spend all your time trying to survive and not.
Yeah, so I feel like your moon has some pretty sizable cities on it, and it's very beautiful. Okay.
So like a lush, temperate climate, easy to live on.
From such a nice place.
I'm picturing like bioluminescent like forests, almost like kind of like to make it pretty at night, that kind of thing. Like it's like a really just picturesque place to be in. And then once we get to Arrakis, it's like, oh my god, everything is just grand.
It's kind of sounding like we're orbiting Ix, because Ix is the planet with a lot of high tech.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So and they have artificial moons, and one of the things that they're good for is like weather control and stuff. I'm like, this is sounding familiar.
And if it's artificial, that is why it could be so easy to live on, and why even though it's a
giant party.
Do you guys want to be from an artificial moon orbiting Ix?
I mean, it sounds like this is like where everyone vacations to, is they come to this moon to see the giant artificial shows that are put on there.
Yeah, and then it's like, because also, it's like, that's the one place you can come see our shows where you know it's safe. We're not going to kill you, because if we killed people there, that half of them are our own people, and they're training.
I'm gonna wait till it's off Broadway.
Well, and also, we're a minor house. We wouldn't get very far if the people, like, obviously we don't have huge, like, serfdoms we control, but we still have some people that are accountable to us, and even though, like, it'd be pretty hard to have people accountable to you if you're known for killing, unless we have the rule, we don't kill you on our home.
That's true.
You only kill outside.
Well, the fun thing there would be, it's like, oh, no, we kill you. We have, like, little paintball things. This is where we train people. It's like, oh, that's all good fun.
Or like, you know,
I came to this moon and all I got was a stupid t-shirt. Like
the murder mystery parties where someone kills you, it's like you realize you see like a sticker on your clothes, it's like you've been killed, and that's how you know. So yeah, maybe the killings happen, but no one actually dies. It's just like, oh, they got me. It was me this time, and it's like the entertainment on our moon. That's the fun thing.
I mean, in a very strange way, like removing the comedy from the situation, it could be kind of like, I mean, like even CEOs do that, like kind of like on weekend retreats, like kind of like a team building exercises or something, right? Like the whole like paintball things. I don't know why, but it could be like a novelty. I mean, we'll see.
They have a really high dollar version where the rich elite get to participate and try to assassinate somebody.
Yeah.
Ooh, the VIP package.
The most dangerous.
That's right.
Is Nyx spelled N-Y-X or N-I-X?
IX.
IX.
Well, look who it is. It's Jeff Bezos back again.
This time he won't be leaving. We're making an exception.
I'm 1000% sure that he has hunted a person. I would put so much money on that. He does own the platform we're streaming on, so my bad.
Yeah, I was just like, that was definitely tagged in this platform somewhere.
I mean, like, literally almost every stream I've ever watched on Twitch, even though he owns a platform, people still, it's not like everyone's super kind to Daddy Bezos. He can take it. He'll survive.
I don't think he cares.
Yeah, he has enough money to take our.
Yeah.
He can go to
Be
space,
wearing his cowboy hat
doesn't
and
really care.
spaceship.
Yeah.
So
once you've been to space, you don't really care about people's opinions about you anymore.
The very next part of this is banners and arms. So you don't have to necessarily like know what you want right now, but you guys are gonna have a symbol.
I mean, it's cliche, but is it not about the drama masks, the happy mask and the sad mask?
We might be thought as face dancers if we do that.
Oh,
That's
true.
true.
Maybe like a spotlight.
Maybe one of us should be a face at
Like
night.
a beam of light on a. That was pretty vague. Then it just looks like a cone, kind of, not really.
Ooh, if you had like a triangular like color onto like a circle, so you'd have like a spotlight
Oh
mimic.
yeah.
Yeah, it could be good.
Yeah.
Oh, like
trying to
the dark side of the moon prism, it's light going into
Oh
it, coming
God,
back out.
yeah.
Or
Light goes in, murder comes out.
And usually it's 2 colors,
yeah.
according
Yeah.
to the book. So I'm trying to think of like what's good drama colors. I'm sitting here like
Red,
black and white, but
Silver,
Maybe
yellow,
like
crimson.
I mean,
Silver and crimson. That sounds dope.
silver. and
There
crimson.
should be some red homage because of the killing. The
Do you
blood.
want the
Yeah.
triangle?
Oh, and also because like the curtains are usually red, like in the
Yeah.
theater, so it's got both the
Oh, yeah.
blood and the curtains. So like and then the silver for like kind of both like the
Yeah.
like the artistry and for the knives.
Yeah, so what
I
I'm
don't know
saying,
who's knives.
what I'm saying is the triangle in the middle, and then red on either side, kind of like curtains, and then the triangle is silver,
Mhm.
and that's like the
Oh,
spotlight, I guess. And then, do you want any iconography inside that circle? You could do the mask. That's not bad. I feel like there are other
Blade?
symbols, maybe. What?
A blade?
You'd have a
Showcase under the
blade.
spotlight, maybe? I mean, it's no secret that we're part of Canley and that it's part of the show and what we do.
So I feel like, so it is your secondary. So I feel like it's not necessarily that public. I feel like it may be rumored. It's not.
I think
necessarily.
it's more. Maybe not so much rumored, but it's more like those in the know, like the average, all the
Yeah.
average, just like the serfs, the peasants that come see the shows, they are
They
never
won't
none
know
the
anything,
wiser.
yeah.
But like the bigger your house is, the more you know about what we do because you've maybe hired us. But the smaller houses, and then the peasants have no clue. Smaller houses, maybe a few of them have caught wind.
Yeah. So it's
but-
kind of a secret.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's a semi-secret.
Semi-secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the idea of an amphitheater as viewed from above. So like that kind of almost like the
Oh.
semicircular, but not quite, and with the rows of seats, and it could be a silver amphitheater
that's-
on a field of crimson.
Yes, that is even better than the spotlight. I feel like, and if it has more, because the spotlight, it just looks like a triangle, like whereas like the
Yeah.
amphitheater is like kind of that's I like that a lot. And because we're on the moon and like the amphitheater looks almost like a crescent moon, like a little bit, like going around.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we could even tie that in and make the amphitheater kind of curved off like the moon, like a crescent moon since we're on one.
Yeah. The
Maybe like-
amphitheater
like, you know
could
when-
be waning.
Like yeah, I was gonna say waxing or waning, so it's not perfectly symmetrical. It has that curve to one side, whether
Yeah.
it's waxing or waning.
How do you guys feel about that?
I like it.
Well, and then do you make the moon crimson? Make it a red moon?
Is it the amphitheater silver on the crimson background, or do we want the amphitheater crimson on a background of silver?
I think
A
a
silver triangle.
silver moon on a crimson background is
Okay.
what he thinks.
On a
Okay,
field,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
On a field of crimson would would be the backdrop of the emblem
Nice.
of our silver stage.
Yes.
Oh, that yeah.
On a field of crimson is our best-selling play.
Oh, that sounds dope too.
You would think it'd be a war play. It's not. You have to see
It's
it.
a comedy.
It's a comedy.
Also, I mean, like the silver kind of reflects that it's like an artificial moon, like kind of like it's not like a real, like the metallic.
Instead of like a
instead
white moon or a yellow moon, it's like it's silver and it's obviously silver. It's like,
Oh.
wait a minute.
This is baller. Yeah, no, I like this a lot. I feel like there'll be lots of talk about your flag, like if it's waxing or waning often.
Yeah, the debate.
Yeah, I feel like people would be. It'll be kind of like a colloquial thing.
That's sort of like when we knew that we'd made it, when people started like wondering
Yeah.
what are Bannermen. It's like, oh, they're finally talking about us.
And so the final element of creating the house itself is to select its traits. And those can be found on page 102 and 142 and 143. I think they go into bigger detail.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go take a look at that. And then after that, we'll go back and kind of everyone will start trying to figure out where they fit
Do we
into
have a
this.
name for it yet?
What's that?
We don't have a name for the house yet, do we?
Oh
Not
yeah,
yet.
no. You don't have a name.
We can still work on it. Workshop it later.
Yeah, you guys. If you think of something, just shout it out. You know, no wrong answers.
Oh.
You heard him. He said shout.
All right, there are some wrong answers though, but for the most
Cats.
House cats.
I was literally usually I just pull up fantasy name generator for names because I'm garbage. I was looking at what earlier. Also, it's like there isn't a Dune category, but there was like, hold on, I have it open on my laptop still. There was something. The category was something real weird. Oh, like there's a category for Mongolian deathworm name generator. I don't know what that is, but I was like, Warps, Dune?
Yeah.
Seems
Yeah,
legit.
that's probably it. Yeah.
And there were some pretty cool options on there.
The Mongolian deathworm sounds like a wrestling finisher.
It does.
It does.
One of the ones
From
I liked
parts unknown.
that's on this list, there was either like House Alkhan, spelled Alkhan. Easy to say, but still sounds kind of cool. Another one it generated was Jibai, Jibai, and it kind of also reminds me of the like Butlerian Jihad because Jibai.
Oh.
House Uryabash, Uriabash, just like lots of cool names. But I'm down for literally anything.
Born
And I think the Archon sounded pretty good, the first one. I really liked it.
Well, what about if we reference like famous plays, right? Like in the chat, someone on there does Bourne Spear, like Jason Bourne Shakespeare. But Caliban is a pretty cool name from Shakespeare, and he's like half man, half monster. And that's kind of what we are. We're a bunch of monsters. Yeah.
That's hilarious because that ties into our Thursday game.
So how's Caliban?
Yeah, Caliban.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are these hybrid creatures. They're called Project Caliban. It's funny.
That's dope.
I
mean, Caliban's also a very interesting character.
So Laura said she's not creative when it comes to finding names, but she certainly has her way, right? So here's what I always do: is I like to just combine things. So what if we take Caliban and then also take Jabai, and we're Caliban Jabai?
A long name.
Caliban Jabai.
Or two names, or a hyphenated name.
Can you shorten it in between there? Take those
So
two.
call
and
it
smush 'em.
Calabai, Kalabai.
Or Kalajahai. Which sounds
Kalajai.
Kalajahai sounds like a sneeze.
Kalajahai to you too.
The other thing I normally do is I find a language and just find the word that's very literal to what I'm trying to say, but then I pick another language where it doesn't sound so literal but I can't
use
think
a lot of Arabic in this book. So.
Well, like my last D&D character, but she was like a military blood hunter, big on swords, so I looked up words for blade in various languages, and I liked the Portuguese word for blade because it sounded dope, so I made that her name because it was Lamina, and that sounded cool.
That's really cool.
That sounds cool.
So is there anyone know how to say like drama or theater or stage in another language that maybe sounds cool? Because in French I think stage is just étape, but that's kind of boring. I don't know the word stage in German yet, so I'm learning German right now.
I bet it sounds horrifying.
Plackenschlagen.
Kinderspielplatz. That is playground.
The German word for stage is Bühne. B-U-H-N-E.
Yeah.
It's actually not so bad.
It's not that bad.
It's hang on. It actually has an umlaut, but over the O, over the U. It's just like, but that's a bit.
Drama.
But that just makes this look like Dune with a B stuck.
Oh,
to it.
that's true. Yeah.
Duffy says Al-Kalaja.
Masara? That sounds cool.
Masara, that's the Arabic word for theater.
I like that.
I just binged that, so I don't know if it's accurate, but that's what Bing says.
What'd you say?
Who the heck uses Bing?
So it's a running joke on our show to use Bing.
Yep, that's a thing.
We've been doing
But you use Bing to search Google to use Google.
That's Bing.
Yeah. You always use Bing to look
What
for
if
Google.
we're just House Bing and someone names their character Chandler?
Chandler, yep.
Oh no!
Ms. Shenanler Ball.
Chandler. Oh. Okay.
No, I think
I
Masara.
like Masara, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Masaro's sweet sounding.
Let's go with that. I like that
Calabing.
spelling too.
Hmm.
M-A-S-A-R-R-A.
And I hope we're not butchering the pronunciation of it. I guess
Yeah, well, we don't have to
Masara?
pronounce it literally because it's our house name now, so it's
That's
that
true.
because we can
Yeah.
say it that way.
Fair enough.
Masara.
That has been appropriated.
Oh my god.
What's the word?
By a bunch of white people
Oh.
playing Dune.
And someone in chat said the quote, and I realized the house needs a motto, and I'm like, it's a bit on the nose, but it's pretty great. Just all the world's a stage.
All the
Which makes
universe
all
is
the
a
world's a
stage.
stage.
I
and
like
then
that.
Oh
the
man,
players.
it's so literal.
But I guess we change it to universe because we're in space and galaxies and the.
All the moons a stage.
All the universe is a space stage. There you go.
I mean, I'm more kind of like a Macbeth person.
The other one I
more kind of
liked-
like,
The other one I like for
the way to dusty death, because like Macbeth. I'm a huge Macbeth freak, but anyway.
or a potential motto, like I mentioned before, give them the bread and circus, because bread and circus also used to describe gladiator shows where people literally killed each other for
Yes.
entertainment. But it's also just meant for as in give the people what they want, give them a show, give them
House
entertainment.
bread circus.
Bread and circus is actually. I don't mind. What if we like wine and circus or something? What if we
High
make
class.
it? Yeah, what to make it more highfalutin?
I like it. So the words would be "Give them wine and circus," the house motto.
Something. Yeah, I mean, if that's that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, don't do
Okay.
wine and bread. That's another thing.
That's a bit too. That's, a bit
different thing.
That's a bit Christian.
Yeah.
Another religion. Okay.
Look, Betty Joe's might have words with us
Tough
if we start
me.
taking the Orange Bible in vain. So.
Eateth of my body, and you shall be entertained.
Oh my god.
Or
Are
we
you
just
not
make-
entertained?
Yeah, we just make the house model. Are you not entertained? So are we going with give them wine and circus? Because I like that.
Or like for your entertainment and our pleasure, but it's a bit too on the nose.
Because also then maybe it also means eventually we could try and get into wine making or wine exporting as an eventual acquisition for our house just to
Ooh.
get
I
more
kinda
money and power, and then it fits right
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, it's
You don't
forward
really make
thinking.
it like going into bread production is a bit like it's a step down. Like wine production sounds better.
The speed at which Laura's brain runs
I
blows
know.
my mind. I just feel like
Are
she's
you sure
been
you're not a
preparing for this.
mentat, Laura?
You're crushing it.
Nah, and this is my brain slow because I'm not a night person. I'm not a nocturnal human. I'm normally in bed at this time, so.
What's wrong with you? Like, I'm the opposite. Oh
Alright.
boy.
So back to the traits thing, because we were about to do that, and then we're like, we didn't need to get a name. Now we have a name. And
Now
we
you have a
word.
name now. So the traits, it
traits.
seems like the traits, you just pick like an individual trait that will apply to everyone in your house. And those
What
start
page are those on,
at
John?
102.
The way I thought I interpreted it, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like you have one trait that's like how you're like how you like your trait that you identify as, like the trait you would describe yourself, and the second trait is like how the world describes you, kind of thing, because those are always different. But because I was watching, because I learned these kind of things better as much as like reading the book by watching other people do it. So I watched a video of another Dune campaign setting theirs up, and I think that's what they did. But
Yeah.
find the page, find 102. In my
Let's see.
book.
Here it says each house begins with a trait for any primary domain it has. This trait is the same as the area of expertise for that domain. So that's
So we all get something like we're all artistic basically.
Yeah, something related to our artistic workers
Oh.
element of what we do, not the Canley part of what we do.
Says
Unfortunately.
the first trait should always mention the house to which we belong. For like example, Duke of House Atreides, Master of Assassins, or Consort to Duke Leto Atreides. That's how the first trait works. So it's our name in relation to the house, or status in relation to the house, Jahan?
something like that. So each house also begins with a descriptive trait for its reputation. This might be
Oh, okay.
honorable, like Atreides, like the Atreides, or brutal, like Harkonnen. This
Yeah, that's
trait-
what it says the secondary one does, right? Or am I reading ahead?
No, you're reading a little
we're
different.
thinking about the traits for our characters, where you have the two primary. This is just
Yes.
one trait that describes your whole house.
Yeah,
like
so
your
this
just
is a trait that's going to
reputation.
describe your house, and that's going to be like a one-word kind of thing. But the other one is a mechanical device, which is a trait that any of you can use by spending momentum during the game, as if you had the trait.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of something.
So-
It's like a specialty everyone from your house can access.
Yeah. So what's a good one-word adjective as a trait that fits this narrative we're spinning here?
Something like taking on different mantles, like in a way. I don't know how to put that in one word.
Like jack of all trades, but in one word.
Yeah.
Flexible.
Versatile.
Yeah, flexible or versatile.
Yeah, but also flexible ethics as much as flexible performances.
Or someone said crafty. That means because we can be like literally crafty and like we make our sets, we make the costumes for our people, blah blah blah. We write these plays, but also crafty like conniving because we gonna kill you.
The play is the thing.
Yes.
Accomplished, multifaceted, resourceful.
Ooh, I like resourceful a lot too. Because kind of also means like the best performers all have to improvise, and you have to be pretty resourceful to improvise. Like something goes wrong in a play, or even backstage, stage managing, something goes wrong, you fucking figure it out. Because
Resourceful is good, yeah. Yeah.
What about trained? We are all trained in a bunch of different things.
I mean, it's like trained and resourceful almost. Well, they're not the same thing. Like one is more like thinking on your feet, and the other is more.
I think resourceful lends itself a bit more to roleplay because I feel like trained as the player, I take advantage. I try and like haggle with my DM way too much over that because I could fit that to far too many scenarios. Resourceful is a bit more specific of how do you use this to do this encounter? How do you do this check?
Plus consider as well that, and this is because I'm pulling from STA because they have traits as well in that regard. Traits mechanically on the GM side of it are a way to help us out as the players. But sometimes that trait can work against us. So if we're known as a crafty guild, it's hard for us to say, you can trust us. It's like, well, hold on. You're from that crafty house, and you just said you're pretty crafty. I'm not sure I trust you so much now. Like, whoops.
Yeah, resourceful still sounds like, like we're... Like, you want to work with it because we're resourceful and we'll solve any problem. We'll get the job done. We figure it out. We work with what's at our disposal.
And I can see that the negative of that being, you could obviously do it. You don't need any resources. You're resourceful. You figure it out. It's like, damn it.
Yeah, it's like you don't need money to fund your play, right? You don't need rehearsal time. You don't need to say
Nah. Wing it. Just
real
wing
life.
Yeah.
Skillful. I like specialist in there.
It can also. It says it can also be a short phrase. If that helps you.
Very short.
Oh, well, I liked Jack of all trades. I thought that fit right in there.
Yeah.
Is that short enough?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Jills of all trade? Change it up.
I'm fine with Jack of all trades because it's an expression. It's not.
And it can be used negatively against us. You're not really good at anything in particular. It's like, well, we are.
Because the rest of that sentence is Jack of all trades, master of none, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I think,
but the rest of that phrase still beats a master of one.
That's true.
Yes.
And I think also, right now we're not like masters of Canley, but we might be getting there. Like, we're not the best house at it yet, but it'll.
Yeah, because we probably make most of our primary. I mean, even though Canley is our secondary, our primaries also are the way we primarily get to interact with other houses, how we make our money.
Yeah.
It's like, do we make money on Canley? Not really. There's a Canley house out there somewhere.
Yeah, because maybe again, not every. Before we like the whole every show people go to, because maybe it's not every show. Again, the risk is, will this be the one? Because sometimes our shows have to just be, we've made art to make money because we need to feed our people and look after our house and blah 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 and pay our vassal house, blah blah blah.
You're blood merchants.
But every so often, somebody just happens to die in some weird accident that no one could have predicted. Like that stage light totally fell on that person.
Yeah, I feel like your reputation might more be like the play Macbeth. Like your plays are cursed, maybe.
Yeah.
We don't like. Well, we not the Scottish play more like kind of like the X play, like X Moon play.
We're the Butlerian play.
So we've had skilled, resourceful, jack of all trades. Which one do people like the best? What's the word that's been thrown out?
I also threw specialists out there, but I just typed in the chat.
Yeah, specialists. I think that one's so vague because isn't every house would be like, we're a specialist at what we do? Like, I don't quite.
Yeah.
It doesn't make to me. It doesn't feel like it makes you stand out because everyone will claim they're a specialist at something in the Imperium.
I think
Chat also.
Especially like when people would kind of like realistically like talk about an entire like house, they would be more likely to say, "Oh, the resourceful house Mazzara," rather than the jack of all trades house Mazzara. Like, kind of like, it just seems a bit too like common lingo to be
I agree. I think Jack of all trades isn't targeted enough either for
Yeah.
we want to tell them what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's back to Crafty. I think Crafty wasn't bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even though it has some pretty obvious negative connotations, maybe that's also part of why we're still a minor house. Cause like whoever thought of that, maybe it wasn't so smart, but it's too late. That's a reputation we have built for ourselves, kind of thing. But now we're gonna work with it. We're gonna.
And the positive spin is that we can pull off stuff because, like, oh, how is this test easier for you? It's like, well, we're crafty. That's kind of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's
And
my
then we can
popsicle
play
stick
dumb
wind
with other
chime.
houses, being like, "We're literally crafty. Do you see that costume? We made that. Isn't it beautiful? Come on."
Yeah.
So let's say that the Guardians of the Galaxy, that's kind of their thing, right? Is they're really crafty. They're not really strong. They're not really smart. They're just kind of crafty enough to get out of every situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think that's it has a connotation to it that can be negative, but it's also really
Yeah.
positive. It's if you have to come to us, we could do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So crafty.
Yes.
Feeling good about it. All right.
All right.
Traits, crafty.
All right, we did it. We thought of a word.
Boom.
And like, we've done
that was a pretty
things.
important decision.
It was.
It's true.
No, it's,
Yeah.
I just like that anyone who's not a tabletop role-playing fan doesn't know that we just had a 15, I don't know, maybe a 3-minute debate over what word we wanted to be.
I think like I guess sort of like in other systems it'll be an easier pick, but here it's kind of like it can really get into like the nitty gritty once you get into playing, and yeah.
One insight I could throw in is that seems to be something I noticed that's unique to Doom, in that it's the traits are something that are. It seems like the system looked like it revolved around the traits. Other systems like STA will have like the traits are in there, but they just kind of happen to. Your Federation, well, obviously, you know, obviously you have that trait. You're of this species, so you have that trait. It's like, well, what's your traits, guys? Well, we're all human, so pointing that out's pointless.
Yeah.
So what else can we differentiate ourselves? Oh, we're, one trait out of the gate, and it's like, oh, and that matters big. That changes our narrative big based on what trait we went with.
Yeah, no, this system definitely puts the role play at the forefront, even mechanically, and it's very impressive.
This next part, I am so excited for. This is one of the big ones.
The roles.
Yeah, this is one of the big ones.
Yeah, so now it's time to kind of pick your where you sit in this house. What is your role within the house?
Correct me if I'm wrong, because a lot of these roles, we're not necessarily going to be there right away. Because if you're already starting as spy master, it's like you would be you'd be a spy working for a spy master, hoping to take that position, kind of thing. Or
Possibly.
can we already? I guess if we're a minor house, the teams aren't that big, so we could already.
If you're the spy master of the minor house, I mean, you might work for the major house's spy master, maybe, or. Or you're just new at it. Maybe you are the reason. Maybe you helped it become a minor house in the first place by doing something truly spy masterful.
And we're not the only agents of the house. We are just sort of we pick what we are, right? So you can be the spy master and have 3 or 4 spies answer to you. You don't have to do the fight if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Anything that you don't make as one of you guys, I will make.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Because I was thinking, for my character, isn't technically, it's related to one of these roles, but it's not the same thing. Because I was thinking, play one of the Bene Gesserit, just because it's an exclusively female order. So unless if any of you wanted to RP a female character, you do you, go for it, not stopping you. But
I do not think I could do justice.
I was the only female identifying person I think in this campaign.
Yep.
I didn't check, so if I
think
wrong, I'm sorry.
Probably.
I was like, I have to do it. I can't not. Plus, they're just real cool, and they remind me of the Aes Sedai from Wheel of Time.
They are 100% that.
Right? But what I was thinking was, so the ruler of our house has a consort that is, that he may or may not know is Bene Gesserit trained, but I'm his, the other woman, I'm the side piece. He cheats on his consort with who he thinks has no clue, but we're best friends. We know it, and we use this to manipulate him. So it's when he's mad at the consort and he comes and is in my bed, I'll whisper in his ear what we want him to do. And then when he's mad at me, I'll suggest the things we don't want him to do, and he won't do it because he's mad at me. But then the person who he's not mad at and sleeping with now will tell him to do it, so he'll do it. And we just have our own secret, like, thing. And we know all about each other. We hang out all the time, and it's great. But I'm not the official, the public would not see me as the consort or wife to the ruler of the house. I'm just like,
Yeah.
the side
So
piece
you're
that some people know about.
the companion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
this
I'll
is the
give you a
consort.
sneak- Oh,
What's that?
oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Corbinian.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead. So yeah, it says consort is either spouse, concubine, or companion. Sounds like you're leaning companion, which is fine if that's what you want to be.
Yeah, so maybe he has a spouse who I am friends with. And in fact, he thinks he met me completely organically as well, but we actually also, she and me engineered the whole thing. He's just oblivious to how manipulated he has been in terms of our situation.
I think that leads to the heir or the king, the whoever, the head of the house being
The ruler,
an NPC, the ruler, since he is already being bamboozled. It lets the rest of us be in on the bamboozling.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because
Yes.
then maybe he found a role for me in the thing. Maybe he picks something where we pretend I'm like one of the playwrights, or we pretend I'm like one of the costume designers. Like, but really, it's like, no, I'm his hoe, who he thinks, but I'm actually way smarter than you and running shit. But he found some role within the art, like the theater world that they control, just as an excuse to keep me around. So I have a reason that everyone knows here without stating the obvious.
Okay. Yeah, no,
That's
that's
such a better adjustment play.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like it. So does anybody else know? So if the choices are all on, they start on page 92. Obviously, the ruler. It sounds like no one particularly wants that role, which I understand. That's an interesting role play situation. Then there's consort, advisor, chief physician, envoy, heir, marshal, counselor, scholar, swordmaster, treasurer, spy master, and war master. Those are all the like fully written out ones. If you can think of something else, I don't see why not, but so it's kind of your job.
Kind of the idea that like I was saying kind of before we started the stream, that I wanted to play a Twisted Mentat, which I'm still kind of attached to, and I like the idea that Laura's character, or at least kind of like the Bene Gesserit, kind of had me like requested and made to kind of like help her affairs, like so. Is it really like as somebody who's kind of keeping track of like the comings and goings and the kind of and I guess sort of the power plays people are trying to make, so we know who we might want to try to approach, like in to help or to hinder. Would that be like an advisor, maybe? I don't know. Or would that be like more like a spy master thing?
So it's almost like an advisor, but counselor also says that they're the person who actually kind of receives the king's, or again, the ruler, the ruler of the house. You receive the hate mail and the fan mail, and so you're the one.
You know what? That is perfect. I really like that. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, so you have to keep the pulse of kind of the citizenry and the pulse of the leader, and you're kind of the in between. So that I think that might kind of fit what you were looking for.
Oh my god,
Okay.
I just had the funniest idea for my cover role that I'm given, just so the heir can keep me around. The stage manager. I'm the stage manager for the in-game. Oh.
I mean,
Are you sure you could roleplay that? I don't know.
I don't know. It might be a bit out of my
Actually,
purview, but I'll figure it out.
I kind of like the idea that maybe on a more official level, kind of like I was sort of like presented to the house ruler as a gift, but I've sort of like made more of a connection with Laura's character, because kind of like it's the same kind of wanting to push the house a certain direction and kind of like try to. We're all basically trying to just puppeteer the house
Kingmakers.
ruler. Yeah, basically, yeah.
You know what? I
So-
love the idea that all of our characters, it's like none of us have faith in the heir of our house.
No.
To actually get the house to become a major house. That's what we all want, just for the secondary power.
That
comes
opens
with
up
being
a
part of
funny
major house.
opportunity for one of
But-
you to
so-
play the heir.
Yeah, we're the ones who kind of have to basically pull the strings for anything to happen.
I would say that my first I set up like 3 different concepts that I sketched out, and the first on the top of the list, if no one else wants it, I was actually looking at being an envoy that's a spacing guild agent.
Okay. Super.
So I'm our connection with the spacing guild.
Because we need somebody to get us to other places to put the planes on.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you say that, Corbinian. I looked at Envoy and I read it and I was like, as interested as I am in this, I think that somebody who knows the Dune lore better would be a great fit in this role because they could really connect you to the story in an interesting way.
I love it.
So I that's awesome. I think that's a great decision. Yep. No arguments from me, man. If you want Envoy, it's all yours.
Damn. I mean, yeah, no, it's great. Fine.
Wow.
So I was leaning War Master.
Yes.
So in times of war, I'm the one in charge of war. I could either be a skilled combatant or a skilled tactics guy. And so that would put me, I think, right in an interesting position to help with the assassinations and plan the layouts of the theaters and things like that, to keep my skills sharp for wartime.
Let's make sure people don't actually kill people in our theaters. Like, what are you doing? Get out! You guys kill people? Yeah, our show. Go away.
Trying to upstage us.
I'm thinking about doing like an eye scar makeup before.
Yay.
Yeah, that should be easy enough, and everybody likes a war master with an eye scar.
No, definitely. No, I love it. I love it. So Thomas.
Oh boy, I feel inadequate around y'all.
Don't worry about it.
Maybe Swordmaster, just because that seems to be the least confusing of all of these possible roles.
So you don't need. Come on.
I mean, yeah, you can absolutely do that if you want to.
Treasure is pretty straightforward. It's just also boring AF.
With all the money.
Yeah. I mean, the ones that I feel are pretty straightforward. Advisor's pretty straightforward. You have the ear of the ruler. Heir, that you can just be.
Not if everyone was just talking about turning this house over.
Maybe we're turning it to your favor. It's like, no, we like the heir. The ruler's an idiot.
Yeah, maybe
like, we can run circles around this guy.
Yeah.
You could be the one playing him, and we could be the ones. You could be the one controlling the pieces, or you and Laura. Both.
Yeah, you could be the heir. You could be the marshal. So you're just like the law upholder, the judge, jury, executioner kind of guy.
Chief physician, also pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. If you want to.
I guess I'm just not sure what this looks like. I'm very used to sort of adventuring party games.
Yeah.
Like, are we running around as a group
So
doing stuff?
You
Or are we
are
hanging
going to
out
go
on
around
planet?
doing stuff, but also there's going to be a lot of house politics, a lot of stuff happening within the court. And if you guys go off planet, odds are I'll stick you together. Otherwise, it'd be weird.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's gonna work. There's gonna be a lot more intrigue in this game than say Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, you can get that out of that game if you want to.
Well, with the topsy-turvy house stuff going on, I may go ahead and lean chief physician. I think that puts me in a good place to make where the heir would be vulnerable.
Ooh.
It also gives you lots of RP things
Yeah.
because, for example, like the Sook physicians that train, their part of their lore is like. It very much like how doctors take a Hippocratic oath, even though your loyalty, like you're for this house, they also at the same time, like you see your enemy bleeding out in front of you, unless something's forcing you not to, you're going to try and save the guy. Even though the rest of us might be like, stop, let him die. You're going to be like, I can't. I literally can't. And it makes for some great RP discussions and consequences.
Yeah.
And what makes the soup... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, they do undergo a training that forces them. Like the Hippocratic oath is kind of...
It's a conditioning,
Subliminal.
basically. It's
Imperial conditioning.
It's like a brainwashing thing where they literally cannot bring themselves to do it unless they I think only once has the conditioning ever been broken horribly. In the book, and I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't read it yet, but it takes a lot to break the conditioning of a soup doctor. So
Yeah.
That is so that is something that you could potentially be getting into.
I did like the Spacing Guild agent. I thought that seemed to be a
I
pretty
kind
cool
of
build.
I think that one would almost be
But
like
it doesn't pair up
you
with
kind of have like I mean you would have kind of a lot of clout over all of us because we need a Spacing Guild like agent to bring the productions
Yeah.
to any planet except for ours. So if we want to do anything, yeah.
I don't think that fits with Physician, so what does?
I still think Spymaster would be a really strong choice in a setting like this.
Oh, actually, that's what I was looking at. I completely forgot. I just assumed you were going to take Spymaster, so ignored it.
Nope.
Yeah, I do like Spymaster along with the Spacing Guild agent combo.
Casualty, you had Swordmaster, didn't you?
I went with the War Master. That way I can play with swords if I need to, but most of the time I can focus on tactics and strategy.
Yep.
And so if you're gonna, so Corbinian is an agent of the Spacing Guild. So if you are too, Thomas, you guys would kind of know each other.
Yeah.
I guess at this point, your entire house knows each other. You guys will have like pre-established histories and that kind of thing.
The catch that we have because later on when we choose talents, there's a talent. If you're part of an existing like Bene Gesserit or a Spacing Guild, what have you, if we don't take the talent that says you are dual loyalty, neither side really minds. Both sides trust you equally.
Yeah.
If we don't choose that, it's like, oh, you're with the Spacing Guild. I'm loyal to this house, but you work for the Spacing Guild. Yeah, you're right. That's fun. That's a fun bit of dilemma.
But if you do have dual loyalties, basically both sides like you equally. Like it's not a downside. Like you get the bonus. Yeah.
The downside is you lose a talent slot, which those are expensive.
So it sounds like everybody more or less kind of has a start of who they're going to be. After that, we're going to dig into enemies. But first, we're going to go ahead and take a quick little bathroom break, little fiver. Let everyone decompress a bit and use the restroom. Maybe get some water.
Before we do that, quick question. So, Calder, did you say you're doing the
Counselor?
Oh, counselor. That was okay.
Yep.
Yeah, counselor.
And Thomas was doing. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep track as well.
Spymaster.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I can go down the list. So it sounds like we got so consort is Laura, counselor is Calder, Corbinian is a Spacing Guild envoy, Thomas is the Spymaster, and Gary is the War Master.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's exactly That is my order, sir. Could I get a large Coke with that, please?
Large orange drink.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and we will be back after this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Fresh Out the Box Plays Dune. If you've noticed that we're missing somebody, Laura had to step out due to some scheduling issues. Not a big deal. She will return for episode 3.
Unrelated, we have decided to name our house Cats, and we are firm in that decision.
Cats forever.
And the subtitle is just like the Jellicle Moon will soon appear is our new house. No, okay, I'm not. And any question she's not in, it'll be the Jellicle.
Chat quick.
Don't worry. I don't think they're going to name the house Cats, Laura.
We take it back.
Hi, Jenny.
Take it back.
But yeah, so back to I think now is a good time. You guys have your characters. I'm gonna let them marinate a little bit.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna take a short reprieve from character creation. This is the one of my favorite parts of Session Zeros. You guys just kind of tell me shit that you want to see, things that you want to happen. Examples are, like, in the past I've had people say train heist, murder, recurring villains, rival gangs.
Yes, so I definitely want another minor house that goes to our same major house that we don't get along with.
Okay, rival minor.
But part of the same major. Not just a rival minor, but also part of the same major as us.
Yeah.
You're going to be betraying a lot of people, it sounds like.
Yeah, so as I've been learning more about Dune and everything, the houses do play a lot like the Dark Elf houses in, like, Mesobaranzan and that kind of thing. They're all it's all very backstabby, very intriguey. Everyone is kind of aware. Everyone's aware that everyone else is trying to stab them in the back. It's all very, as long as you do it the right way, the proper way, you can get away with it, even if people know. You know what I mean? And it's, I enjoy that.
Laura's still in the chat, and she gave her 2 cents over there. She says, in terms of things I want to see happen, I enjoy plot twists and surprises. Anything that makes me gasp. Love. Fuck with my emotions and break my heart all you want. I only have one request for things to avoid, and I will direct message you about it later.
Okay.
So as far as like X cards and veils go, that's a tool that we use in game playing, in role playing, to make sure everybody feels safe and welcome at the table. Some people have things that they don't want to talk about, period. You skip it. And there's other subjects that you can breeze over. I, for one, not huge on hangings. I don't like hanging bodies, so that's an X card for me. Not even breeze over, just if we're doing suicide, let's just skip on through. We get it, dead body, suicide, and we'll move on. If there's something fishy or suspicious, I expect it to be like easy enough for us to get and move on with the scene without it being too gruesome.
Yeah.
But I've checked that one off my list. I've done enough of that. And then morgues are kind of on my let's breeze through it list. We can breeze through a tomb or a morgue if we need to, but I don't want to spend a lot of time dissecting if I don't have to.
That's fair enough.
Not everyone has to talk about, of course, what makes them uncomfortable on stream. Those are
if you don't want
mine.
to, you can private message me like Laura's going to. Not a big deal. If you want to say something, then that's fine.
I think sort of
of course, we have hard lines against sexual violence, hard lines against racism, of course. So all of that is
no racism, no homophobia, no transphobia, no, a lot of those I would hope would go without saying, but we like to say.
It's good to know they go without saying stuff like this. Yeah.
Yeah. You never know. You never know.
If you're okay with all that shit, then this is not the stream for
this
you.
Is not your shit.
Yeah, really. Get the fuck out of here.
I think, in a weird way, like, I don't think it'll happen in Dune as much. Like, usually, like, in D&D, I'll say, like, kind of, like, cruelty to animals, but, like, in Dune, like, there's, sandworms. Yeah, you ride them. Like, they're
mostly cruel to people.
Yeah, there's some, even in the books, there's, like, some, just, like, small animals, like, on Arrakis or other planets, like, but there's no focus on, well, I guess, like, the the attorneys do like bullfighting, which I mean, yeah, just any kind of
Yeah,
like,
it can
excessive, like,
happen.
cruelty to animals. I'm not too hot on. Like cruelty, that is like the hypocrisy of like cruelty to like NPCs, fine. Like cruelty to small fluffy animals, no. I know the hypocrisy of that statement, but
No, don't worry. It goes along with all human research that says we like dogs more than people. So I'm a firm believer in that research.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, yeah, we're definitely so animal cruelty, yeah, no problem. I can gloss over that if it does happen for some story reason. That's not a big deal.
Except for the worms.
I mean, they're more likely to be cruel to you or like indifferent to you while they eat you.
I mean, if you can be cruel to one of those worms, good luck. More power to you.
I would like the
I think
ability
you will
to
go down in
tame
history.
those.
Like you can even kind of like do an exception. Like if anybody manages to be cruel to a worm, I will applaud them for like being able to. Like, maybe when they're still kind of like little baby worms, you can still like I don't know, like, smack one around. But basically,
Gonna
once
spy right into his insides.
I wonder if we have kind of like almost like the old-fashioned way of like reading entrails. Like you read worm entrails, probably not. It seems hazardous.
Yeah, I don't think I'm bothered by anything, and I'm not super familiar with the Dune world, but I think I'm good to go. I like everyone else's suggestions.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a bunch that are pretty much catch-alls for stuff that makes everyone uncomfortable, and then if anything just triggers you, it's okay.
No one said giant spiders, and no one said giant terror clowns. So look forward
You're
to
going to be a giant terror clown.
Yeah, I'm going to make Driders. That is
your
top
character.
half clown, bottom half spider. No.
Somehow I don't think that's canonical, just throwing that out there.
Bottom half clown, top half spider.
It's a Ben Gesserit genetic experiment gone wrong.
Yeah.
So.
The Betty Talaxu have been experimenting with spiders, and now they're coming for you.
As we're all performer based, we all just dress as horrifying clowns, just pantomime everything.
You come from the Halloween planet.
I didn't even think about being a terrifying clown general.
Go on.
That's gonna be some great makeup.
But yeah, so if you think of anything in the future, feel free to let me know. But still, if you have anything that you want to have happen, a good thing, a cool thing, a fun thing, let me know. And I'll do my best to work it into the campaign. Dog fights. I don't know. How much do you want to be on the desert planet itself? That kind of thing. You know, do you want to go to other planets?
The two things I guess I would like to do is one is exploring the divided loyalties, because I'm not taking even in my write out I was like, I'm not going to take dual loyalties. I want that to be an issue that I have to think about, because our house's goals will not always match what the Spacing Guild wants, and vice versa. Spacing Guild you're not giving up. We're not helping this other guy. Why? Because he screwed us out of our payment, and we're not shipping him, so he's done. It's like, I have to deal with that.
I will take his shipments and his people.
Yeah.
Customers.
As for other planets, I'm cool with planet hopping. I do have nostalgia vibes for Arrakis because of the movie, because I've read the first
I think we need to go even like just for as a streaming show, we should at least set for Dune. Do something.
If it's possible, could we have a cool, unique ship instead of hopping around taxiing? I don't know how this travel works, but I like the idea that we have something that's unique to us.
So it is possible because you guys have ties to the Spacing Guild. The Spacing Guild they're the only ones that can travel across the universe. The way it works is they literally fold space to go from point A to point B instantaneously, and they do this through a combination of technology and drugs.
Or spice. Don't just say drugs.
The spice melange lets you see the future, and it allows them to see the results of their jumps, so that they don't teleport into meteors and stuff.
Yeah, we might have like we might be one of those few, even a minor house. It's like, oh, we actually have like a starship on retainer.
Yeah.
It's like no. It's like what? That's probably why there's 2 of us here.
Yeah, I would be okay with that because you guys are tying yourself so heavily. So.
And there's even like spice. Spacing, there we go. Spacing guilds, talents that I mean, it could be spice guilds. You can call them that. You call them spice girls.
Beat me to it.
But there are like specific talents that let us like move better and like have better chances at like shipping stuff because we're part of the team.
Yeah.
We're not the guys who fly things because we don't want to be those people.
Yeah, you're not the pilots.
I will tell you now.
So, not to metagame that too much, but if we're both guild guys and you take an ability and I take ability, do those stack when we travel together?
Some of them would, some of them could, but we're better off. We're actually better off covering multiple bases.
Yeah, I'm not gonna metagame that because I'm gonna pick what I think my character would take, regardless.
Yeah. Just curious about how those mechanics work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them stack, and some of them don't make sense. Like one's like,
that's-
oh, they'll be nicer to you when you try to ship stuff. It's like, well, if we both take that one, that doesn't change anything.
Double nice.
Yeah, this game is actually super
nice
hard
guys.
to exploit because it is very roleplay heavy. Every time you make a roll, you have to choose what your backing is of that, like emotionally. Like, I'm doing it for honor. I'm doing it for faith. And that feeds into your roll. It's very interesting. Rolling low is good in this game. You want to roll ones. Rolling a 20 is bad.
I have another strange request for the campaign.
Okay.
I'm a war master.
Okay.
And I want to feel like a general when I enter a room.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe not every room, but I want to feel like a general sometimes, not just a badass adventurer. I want to feel like a whole general.
Well, I mean, you are a general, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Have you seen Death of Stalin? When the general comes in, he just like flops his jacket, so it's like, okay, I'm here. But yeah, no, good movie.
And I figured you would do that anyways, just because of our classes. I figured you'd go through and make sure that our classes are highlighted, but I just wanted to notate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, feel free to tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Should we just like do like for the stream? Each episode will have like a Spice Girl lyric.
If you want me to, I'll name every session after a song. By the way,
Please
I was
no.
gonna say, I think we figured out the soundtrack for this campaign.
No.
I can't feel alive.
I found my ex. No.
X card, Spice Girls, gotcha.
You guys slow it down, baby. You gotta have some fun.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop this now.
I'm gonna scratch that name off of our secondary names list.
Yeah, so no, these are good. These are good inputs. But
Should we also be?
What's that?
Should we be making Should we be making our own NPCs, or do we just kind of like keep it small, like just play our characters and kind of run it?
You do have input into the NPC building, and also there's a system in place where you can be like, hey, I need there to be NPCs in this room that I know and can control, and you can name them and stuff like that. And there is, you have a lot more NPC agency in Dune than you do in a lot of other games.
Yeah.
Supporting characters.
Yeah, supporting characters.
Especially when it's something like a war master doing like a big military thing, and he's like, oh, doing this big march. It's like, why in God's name is the envoy of the Spacing Guild here? It's a ground battle. Why am I here? What am I gonna do? Give you tips on how to run away? I mean, I could, but you know, if it's purely that, it's like, okay, well, this is time for us to march and blow up some bandit camp or something like that. It's like, okay. Some of us might go.
I'll give
but,
Jahan big credit on our Expanse game. Just recently, he ran a whole ship combat that was happening outside of a siege space station, and we had a ground crew inside the space station and a ship crew in space. And the entire session ran scene to scene flawlessly back and forth between the two. So I know, and I've seen that he has the capability to run a ground war at the same time as running something else that would be equally as exciting for
Yeah, I will do my best to have things going on for everybody at once. I
just
can
have to
do
stand down
parallel
there.
play.
Yeah, you don't have to stand down there and throw rocks or teach me how to run.
So we can, if you guys think of anything else you want to add to the campaign, anything that you think would be fun, let me know. But we can move on to enemies.
I would like, I think.
Oh, one last thing. I mean, but that could be kind of like you can. The answer to the request can be no, and that's fine. Like I think it'd be interesting, like even maybe towards the end of it, like to have one of our like productions be put on like kind of at the Punisher Empire's like house.
Okay.
That maybe be like a huge event for us. Like don't screw this up, because.
So you want to perform for the Emperor?
I mean, maybe it's like a long-term plan of like for all of us to kind of like to show him that
That's our
we're, like,
big
a
goal.
worthy of-
Our big goal.
That would
Maybe.
really put our house on the map.
I mean,
like,
I'm fine with that being a goal, and I'm fine with
And
it
yeah,
happening.
and again, it may not happen, and like the answer can be no,
It
but
may
kind
or
of like
may
maybe
not
that's what we might be fishing for it.
No,
So,
think of this like a wish list.
Yeah.
Anything you want to put on it, I will try. And a lot of these are really good. So
Corbinian, can you just like flood Jahan with a bunch of Dune shit? Since I don't know Dune lore, there's a lot of things that I think we should probably include here, like giant worms.
I'll help. Yeah.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of things we should check off the how do you say, the Dune fanboy list to make sure we do it right.
Yeah,
We're also
I will
scared of
I'll-
ropes.
I'll give those suggestions for sure. But I will say, having read the book, like the sorry, that didn't help. The textbook, sorry. The game book that we're using, there we go. That is very comprehensive. It's covering it's covering stuff. I was like, I forgot that was a thing.
Oh,
they have good
Like the
lore.
Benny Talaxi, I was like, oh yeah, those guys. I remember them now.
So a great
yeah, the
example
face
is like,
sensors were a thing. Yeah.
if you try to go on Wikipedia and read about Dune and Dune's history, your mind will fucking spin. But if you open this tabletop guide, this companion, it actually sorts it out in a really clean and concise way
Yeah.
that not even the novels are able to do.
Thank you
so-
to Modifius for providing us with the book.
That's right.
They're really good about lore
that's-
collation.
Nice. That's really nice.
And
They gave this
fingers-
to us, so that's cool.
fingers crossed, but we still have, and we're in talks with Modifius to play the Elder Scrolls game, right, Jahan? Is that what it is?
Ooh.
Yeah, they're developing an Elder Scrolls board game, and they might let us stream it on Tabletop Simulator.
Ooh.
So
We also may get some giveaway codes for Dune in the very near future, but I don't want to make promises yet. But I think
yeah,
that's
we don't have
gonna
anything
be-
confirmed yet, but it is definitely, we're talking about it. So hopefully we might be able to get something for the fans, for the viewers, that kind of thing.
So tell your friends, stick around, play Dune, love Dune, look at Dune, game of the year. That's our
Don't
spot.
think
for
about
that.
anything else but Dune. just Dune up your life. Like don't. Stop going to work. Just
Let's find a nearby dune. Stand on it. Pretend worms are out there. Please don't do that. It's actually kind of dangerous. Please don't do that.
So yes, the next part is enemies. So you guys
Right.
already said that you kind of want a rival minor house that's tied to the same major as you.
Yeah.
And
But the
I
question
know
is
that
like, are they also kind of like our same purview? Kind of like they're trying to outdo us at kind of being sneaky, canly people, or are they just more like honorable and they think we're the black sheep?
Oh, I'm
giving
not sure
everybody a
yet.
bad name?
I haven't decided quite yet.
so yeah, I think we could even roll that.
Yeah,
and
you
they
guys
could
can
be-
even kind of.
They can be
Oh.
religious, military. They could be, they could be anything. They could be science, canly.
Yeah, the only thing that's important is that they are rivals to you under
Yes.
your
Yeah.
main house.
Oh.
And also, there is a section in the book for adding a rival house, and I'd like the house that I said, I'd like it to be a second rival house, not the same.
I figured, and that was my
Yes.
next part. So the built-in one, you guys do have a built-in one that will operate under a different major house. As a minor house, you have one minor house that is a enemy. I can either roll a d20, or one of you can enroll 20 if you would like to.
Oh, I'm not.
Also-
I'm not. No, I don't want to take that power out to. Like,
Oh, there it is.
We'll blame for this later. 14. Okay.
Thomas puts one up.
Oh no. Well,
Alright.
it's not Can Lee.
It's not Canley.
Hooray! No one's trying to kill us.
So there is another house under another major house. There's a minor house under another major house that hates you. They are loathing. They loathe you. And then you have a rival that is also under the same house as you.
The description of loathing is the house has some plan to destroy the player character's house. However, they won't risk their own resources unless they can do serious damage.
Yeah. So
So
they
they're
will kill
ready.
you if they can.
Yeah, they're ready to make a move, but they're not making a move.
Yeah.
Fuck them dudes.
Mm-hmm. And then we have another rival house, right? So should we roll that one as well?
I was just going to have, since you said you wanted them to be a rival, I was going to have them be rival. But you can roll them if you want to. I would allow it.
Yeah, let's let the dice decide. I've rolled an 11, which may be the same result.
Yeah, they also loathe you.
Loathing.
Mm-hmm.
You guys
Just
make
loathing
all kinds of
piles.
enemies.
Fear and
Hate us because
loathing.
they ain't us.
You know, that's
We
right.
out here. We out here putting on shows, looking good, getting awards. They just being
I mean,
jealous.
they might be kind of like almost like hardworking, like kind of like actually like producing something industrial or something, and they're like, "What the hell are you guys doing over there? You clowns!"
And they
You
might be
actual
upset
clowns."
that clowns
Get
are
a
held
real
in-
job, you fucking liberals.
And that could be the feeling there.
We've not made murder hobos. We've made murder liberals, basically. No,
Jeez, guys.
this
House
is where, like,
demon rats.
This is like what
Spice and everything nice.
this is why they want is what cultural Marxism. It leads to like murder crowd.
This is what they're afraid of. When you back the arts, it leads to murder.
Oh my god!
How else did they get the idea?
Exactly. So yeah, I can spend threat points that during gameplay to make one of these rivals intercede in something you're doing. So whenever you guys generate threats, I can use that to make it the rival house. That's kind of the... Oh, there's reasons and stuff too.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
next page has reasons.
All right,
Since
so for the
Thomas
first
and
house...
Thomas and I already rolled, so these next two go to Corbinian and Calder.
Mhm.
Corbinian got a 10.
What page are y'all on?
Page 97
9-7.
of Dune, Adventures in the Imperium by Modifius Games. 10 and 11. That's funny. Those are different results. Okay.
Huh. All right.
One is morality, one is servitude. So one
Okay.
house hates us because something is off about our house. It sickens the others. They might encourage loose
That was kind of
morals,
what you were talking about.
brutal
Yeah.
regime, but might just as easily be sickeningly loyal to an emperor, honorable to a fault, or annoying in their religious dedications.
Oh man, we have religious zealots
Oh.
next to Westboro Baptist Church is next to us.
Okay, that's
The other one is going to be servitude. Servitude says one of the houses used to serve the other and now owes no fealty. The master house might want to return to the upstart or their rightful place, or the vassal home might seek revenge for being held back or treated badly.
Yes, so that it's funny that you guys rolled these because they line up exactly with what you guys were saying. So
Oh.
morality, that's the
what you
one
were
that hates
saying.
you.
Like, I wasn't expecting it to become true.
Yeah. No, it's
Will
funny. The
this
dice
into
do not lie.
existence.
I do like that a 19 or 20 is they hate you for no reason. That's really funny. But so
Sure.
morality, yeah, the first house would be morality. They don't like you because of just who you are as people. And then the other ones are the ones that serve the same house as you.
So either we served them, or we either served them or they served us, and then we split, and now there's still that tension between us.
Yeah, so you used to work for them, maybe underneath them, and then you rose to the same level as them, and they don't like that.
Oh.
And it's possible that you did so by stepping on their toes. So that's
One
kind
Kenley later.
Oh,
Yeah.
we did. 100%.
So boom, just like that, in this system, you have your house and you have your enemies. And now we can dive more into the whole player character as an individual. And so obviously you guys are this is on page 100. Obviously you guys are all main character kind of peoples.
What's cool about this page for people new to this system is that the player characters include main characters and supporting characters.
Yes.
And then the non-player characters are all the typical NPCs you'd expect, major, notable, and minor NPCs. But there is, player agency over supporting characters.
Yeah, and it's cool because like the minors, notables, and majors all have varying degrees of stats. So like you don't have to flesh out a minor NPC quite as much, mechanic wise.
And the good thing is that supporting characters, they never really can by design outshine a main character. No matter, I mean, I can have a guy who's a great sniper, who's a great shot, all this stuff. But it's like, yeah, but if the sword master over there wants to take a shot, he will always be better because he has better talents. He has in the system. He has drives. Yeah. This is just a guy who's good at it and gets better with time. But we're the heroes of the story.
Yeah, you guys are all main characters, and then the supporting characters are you can actually control supporting characters as well, which is very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Gary ever does go to war, you guys can have troops in his cadre and fight alongside him if you're not there yourself, which is cool.
So, I want to join in on the fighting. Not with my guy, though, but I'll be one of your soldiers, sure.
Yeah. Everybody grab a sergeant and a couple of privates and let's go do a different type of session real quick.
No, don't grab any privates, guys. No.
Well, maybe grab privates.
It's a trap.
Ask first and then grab privates.
So
consent is cute, yes. Always consent. Yeah.
So who are you? When creating a character, the first step is to devise a concept for your character, who they are, what they do. All of you have played ttrpgs, and you're kind of familiar with this. For the folks at home, it's just kind of like almost a phrase. It's just like a very concise boxing of your character. The examples are Scion of the House, Mentat Advisor, Bene Gesserit Agent, Swordmaster Physician. You guys kind of already picked some stuff. And I think there are also two methods of character creation. I'm pretty sure we're just going to go with play and creation. The other way is creation and play. I don't think we need to do that, although it is a cool option.
Yeah, creation and play is really great if you're basically creating and playing in the same. And you're like, you know what? We don't want to learn the character creation. Here's a convention. Sit down. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's play. But if you have time to sit there and actually plan it out, they have it in other systems as well, like STA. I really like. There's strengths to both, but creation play is pretty neat. But we have time to do planned. I always prefer planned myself, unless I'm teaching.
Me too.
Unless I have a time constraint that I have to teach. I have to play like right now, and I don't want to give them pre-gens.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's cool. I like that they offer it. It's definitely.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to be picking personal traits. Sorry. A character has two traits, which are essentially descriptions of the character. These traits provide a context for your actions, influencing the difficulty of tasks they attempt, and help you and the game master determine what is possible or impossible for you to try. The first trait is normally their status or role in society. A character's place in society shapes how they move through society and influences what they can and cannot do. The second trait is more personal, taking the form of a character's reputation, such as just and wise or callous and ruthless. It is how the character is perceived by others, and thus influences how others approach them, for better or worse. So they paint a very basic picture of who you are. You don't necessarily have to figure them out now. If you want to think on it, just be aware I'm going to be asking you these questions next time we play. It does say sometimes you have a third trait that might reflect a secondary affiliation or loyalty, which may pull a character in another. And that's something such as Sook Doctor, Mentat Conditioning, Bene Gesserit Sister, and Corbinian's case, Spacing Guild Operative, and possibly Thomas's as well. and then you guys boom. So you guys are gonna kind of think about.
I'm gonna be spying and smuggling. That's what I'm doing.
Spying and smuggling. That nothing wrong with that. I feel like spying. Is spying your like normal title?
Spy master. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like your normal title, and then smuggler is maybe like something less known. Yeah. And then obviously you're going to have some skills here. Each character has a rating in each of 5 skills, which are described below. Skills contribute to a character's tests, and they define what a character is doing when they act. Each skill is rated 4 to 8. And the more proficient a character is... Oh, wow. Only Play Wizards has rated us with a party 8. Hey, Only Play Wizards.
Hey, what up, y'all?
Hello.
Thank you so much for the raid. You're just
Thanks for
tuning
hopping in.
Yeah, just tuning in for us, picking some skills for our characters here on our session 0 of Dune.
Dune Game of the Year, Tabletop Game of the Year by Modifius Games. Thank you. And maybe we'll have a giveaway next week. We hope. Fingers crossed. No promises. This is Only Plays with. This is the friend of the show, Only Play Wizards. He runs Abraxas Precipice, which is a Expanse stream. And he actually happens to run Wednesday nights. We run Thursdays. So we appreciate his raid. Thank you for bringing your folks over here afterwards. We love Green Ronin products, but we're not able to raid him because of time
constraints. Yeah. If you want more Expanse, tune in tomorrow.
They're like, fuck it, we've had enough Expanse. Talk about Dune. All right.
Thanks for the follow, Aqua Punk. It's hard to say.
Pumpkin like water, so whoever that is.
So each skill is rated 4 to 8, and the more proficient a character is, the higher the skill is, obviously. Battle, communicate, discipline, and move and understand. So these are kind of your stats. 4 means you lacking training or knowledge in the field, and at 8 you're a master. They're going to give you some things to choose from number-wise here in a minute. But just be aware, battle, communicate, discipline, move, and understand. I guess we can break into a little bit more about what that is. Battle describes skill at arms, awareness of danger, and understanding of tactics, and that kind of thing. Communication is kind of obvious. Character's ability to skillfully engage in conversations, discussions, and debates. It can encompass implication, innuendo, and subtext. Discipline describes a character's ability to influence and control their own mind and body, as well as their ability to exert direct, overt influence. Move describes character's mobility, so it's kind of like dexterity. And then understanding is kind of like a combination of intelligence and wisdom. It's your mental stats. So you guys,
sorry to ask again, how many points do we get to go in?
I don't remember yet. I think there's several choices.
So you get between 4 and 8. You do 8 for the. So you get 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4. And you can just put them.
One of them, the next set of things you pick.
It
like that.
says on 108.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Primary skill listed for your archetype is 6. The secondary skill is rated at 5. The other 3 skills are rated at 4.
Okay, so it's going to be based on archetype.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can add 5 more points among your skills to a maximum of 8. So
Yes,
once those are laid
there
out,
you
then
go.
you
Yeah,
pick where to balance it out after.
I forgot how it worked. I knew I liked it, though.
6, 5, 4, and then you have 5 points to add amongst your skills.
So a character's skills are... So focuses are the next part. After that, you're going to choose a focus. Each character has a selection of focuses which allow you to demonstrate their specialties and the kinds of advanced expertise that come with specializing training and hard-won experience. So skills... Examples of battle focuses are like assassination and atomics. Acting and bartering are communication focuses. And so, yes, there's not necessarily a list. You can kind of, make something up if you want to. But just as long as it is specific, it has to be something that you can or can't use in specific situations.
Yeah. And a bit of advice from a neighboring system: don't be tempted to go too specific, because then you trap yourself. I only use black powder rifles circa 17th century.
Yeah.
You could make that a focus technically. You really shouldn't.
Yeah, don't make black
Just say
powder.
firearms. Just say firearms.
Yeah, just say firearms.
Yeah, that's enough.
The next
Fighting.
Ranged weapons. Just
Yeah. Oh, your gun's broke. No, I literally have firearms.
Oh man. Yeah, no, this is great. So drives are the next thing. That's your second set of stats. They are duty, faith, justice, power, and truth. This part is this part's very roleplay heavy. You're gonna make some decisions here. So each character has a rating in each of the 5 drives, which are described below. A character's most important drive is 8, second most 7, then 6, 5, and 4. So you are going to rank these, and you're not going to add anything to them. And they can be to anything. Like your duty can be to the Spacing Guild, to your house, to yourself. It's kind of up for interpretation. You know, faith, same thing. It could be in God. It can be in the Emperor. It could be in what's the thing called? Maju Dubai, the coming of the Messiah
you were
foretold
close.
by the Bene Gesserit. It could be anything. Justice can also be, what you view as justice. These are all open for interpretation. And while we're playing, anytime you make a roll, you're going to be rolling 2d20, right? And you're going to give me your drive that you want to use for the action and an applicable skill. So the skill, obviously, you're going to be like, hey, firearms, I'm shooting the guy, right? That makes sense. Like, yeah, that makes sense. Why are you shooting the guy? That's the next part of the question. Every time you roll, you will be asked these things. If you're trying to shoot somebody to feel strong or to grasp more power, it might be power. If you're doing it to protect your house, it might be duty. And you're going to add the number of your skill to the number of your drive. And so if you're doing stuff that are in line with your drives, you'll be better at it. So while you're role-playing, you have like an edge, which is cool. And the goal is to roll under this combination number. So the higher it is, the better you'll do. And I don't know, I really like it. It's baked in roleplay. You know what I mean? If anyone at home hasn't checked out Modifius's ttrpg of the year, Dune, I highly suggest going to their website, checking out the quick start. It is art. It is art. But yeah, so that is how drive kind of works, and it's probably the thing I was most excited to talk about, if it wasn't obvious by how excited I get.
It's kind of help that you can it'll like apply to different things, like say, if you're interested in power, kind of it's both like power when you try to talk somebody down, but it's also power in terms of how much you punch somebody with, how much force you punch somebody with. So it can be both things.
Yeah, it can be multiple things.
Skills, yeah.
And then the last part of drives, it actually has one more part to it. Each drive you have of a rating 6 or higher, you have to define with a single statement. So you're going to have 3. You're going to have 3, awesome. That you have to give a drive statement. It's a short sentence explaining what the character feels about that drive. Characters don't have a drive statement for their lower rates drives because they don't feel strongly enough about those.
I'm in it for the money.
Yeah. Examples of duty: people are the true strength of a great house. I serve at the pleasure of the house, like that kind of stuff. And those come into play with, I believe, one of the points, the spendable points in the future.
I think they may call it something else, but that sounds like the determination system.
Yeah, I think determination. And then, so you're going to pick that. That one's actually pretty fun to do. You're just ranking how your character feels about stuff. And then ambition is going to be the ability to, a goal. It's going to be what you want. It's a short phase describing your ultimate goal or desire. And this is actually important because it's how you gain advancement points. When you do something that furthers your ambition, you gain advancement points. There isn't experience in this game. Ambition is one of two ways where you can gain experience. And then boom. So now, what's that?
Sorry, carry on. I didn't want. Was it? What I also find interesting is that the kind of as your character develops, your drives can change, like depending on what happens to your character and how, which is so cool. I think
it is very cool. No, I love so much about this game. It creates. This game is made to create dynamic characters.
Yeah.
Not static characters. I hate static characters. But yeah, so it's more laid out better on page 109. That's kind of where it's step by step by step. And we can kind of go through, and I can help you guys if you have questions. That's what session zeros are for.
I've been trying to sort of build as we go. I'm just going to have to read through it real quick and make sure I've done most of my steps right, but I'm not all the way caught up yet.
No, I've just been trying to follow along with.
Oh no, perfectly fine.
So I've got you have your character sheet open in Roll20, right, Thomas?
Yeah.
So it looks like, and maybe you guys can tell me if I'm right, the drive and the skill, in both of those columns, we're going to have 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, but we get to put them in what order we desire?
Not quite. So the drives, yes. The drives, you are going to be doing it like that. That's exactly how you do drives. And your top 3, you're going to have to come up with a statement for each one. What your duty or whatever means to you.
And it's not your top 3 in order, it's your 3 highest.
3 highest, yes.
That are 6 and higher, which, yeah.
Yeah, so I actually did this when we were reviewing the book live, and it was pretty quick and easy if you, because I did myself. I wasn't like writing for another character. I just did my things. And it just kind of plopped out. It's like, yeah. Isn't there like a battle chart, Gary?
A battle chart?
Isn't there a chart for doing the... Not a battle chart, I'm sorry. For the drives.
Man.
That's how I
want to say yes, except that we read so many systems, I would just
be... I know what you're talking about. There's like a questionnaire near the end of character creation where it's like, choose between this and this.
Yes.
Mark it down. Choose between this and this. Eventually, you'll go, oh, I now know what's the most important thing to my character, because it keeps it from being very nebulous.
It makes it very easy.
And it focuses it in, and you're like, and then the answer just kind of appears in front of you.
That is in the book. Actually, I saw it somewhere.
Yep. I want to say it's near the tail end. I want to say that.
Yep. It's on page 121.
Ah, I mean, I knew that.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So page 121, it gives you just a list of things, duty or faith, and you pick one. And you just kind of keep track of how many times you're picking each thing, and it's going to lay them out in a clear order that you prefer. And obviously answer it as your character would. And that's one method to do it. Otherwise, you can just pick. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I think that is a really cool tool. And then, so step 2 is where you pick your archetype, and that's going to have your primary and secondary skills on it, which I know you guys were wondering about earlier. The archetypes are analyst, athlete, commander, courtier, duelist, empath, envoy, herald, infiltrator, messenger, protector, scholar, scout, sergeant, smuggler, spy, steward, strategist, tactician, and warrior. Those are on page 113 because I said them first.
I'm intending on taking spy since I'm a spy master. Is that correct? Is that what I'm supposed to do here?
You're not supposed to do anything. You could be an analyst spy.
You did talk about smuggler also, and smuggler is on that list.
Smuggler is on the list.
Also, strategist could be a spy.
Mm-hmm. And then, you can see your primary skill and secondary skill. So for spy, understanding is primary, move is secondary.
Oops.
Smuggler is move in battle. And what was the other one? Strategist, understand in battle. And so that's kind of going to shape your stats.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with smuggler.
Interesting. Yeah,
Where
see?
do I throw this in on this sheet?
I don't know.
Does it say archetype anywhere?
No.
Do it in personality traits, then. That's a pretty big open box.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
make a little side note for yourself there.
I am looking at it now.
Archetype.
Understand battle, blah, blah, blah.
Is there one that says trait?
Personality traits in the upper left there.
Oh, yeah, personality traits. You can put it under there. That could be good.
Yeah, that's where I had put it.
Yeah.
That's
And I
good.
think that's what it is because it's a trait.
Yeah. The only thing for us, because of our templates, are in the personality traits. Our third one is guild agent. That's something that we are.
Oh, we get 2 or 3 of these?
Yeah, since you guys have a extra, like, loyalty to something else, you add that there.
Yeah, because that makes it easier for us to talk to Space Guild people, but it also means that people might doubt us. We're like, are you really loyal?
Yeah.
This is a spacer
The
thing?
space
No, this is for my house.
Relations with the
Which one?
Space Guild are very complicated.
What was that called again?
The archetype? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
Smuggler.
the second of the 3 we have. No. The one we have to have. Corbin.
Guild agent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Guild agent.
Guild.
And then I could take, since I have a third one, then I can take spy.
And that is your third one. The other two are,
Up to you.
like, personal things.
Because it gives suggestions that the first one is something that's related to the house. So, like, for example, I did House Envoy of Travel. So I'm kind of the envoy that deals with our travel agency issues. Or if someone needs to get a ride, I'm kind of that guy. And my second one is I'm fair-minded. So I'm not trying to rip them off. I'm actually trying to get them a good deal. And then the third one is Space Guild. It's like, well, I'm a guild agent. That's why that kind of helps define the other two in a way.
So what I had written down for mine, I actually forgot our house name.
Masara.
Masara. I need to write that down. Hey, there you go.
Oh,
Thanks.
Massaro?
Wasn't it? Am I full of crap?
I didn't hear, I didn't hear that
No.
was...
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Masara. It's up there earlier.
That's exactly right.
Cool.
And it's double R. Yep.
So are we both guild agent Masara?
You're both guild agents, Spacing Guild.
Yeah.
So
If we
for
say
my-
guild agent, everyone knows what they mean. They mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
mean the Spacer Guild.
That's the
As
only-
opposed to a Benny Jetson.
it's the only,
It's
like-
well, that's what she is.
My personality trait, I wrote Master General of House Masara, cunning and deceptive.
I like that.
It's not bad.
We may not have the biggest army.
Yeah,
No, but every house in this game needs a War Master.
Mhm.
we certainly act like it.
So
Look at this guy.
so for your skills, whatever your primary skill for your archetype is 6, secondary is 5, everything else is 4, and then you get 5 more points to spend. You can't raise anything above an 8.
6, 5, and then everything else is a 4.
Yes, and then you can add 5 points however you like,
6.
which is pretty simple character creation.
Yeah, so I put power at an 8, truth at a 7, justice at a 4, faith at a 3, and duty at a 3.
Ooh.
No.
No, he's talking about drives. He did those right?
The drives. No, the
Oh.
drives should be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the focuses should be
No
6,
skills.
5, 4, 4. Oh yeah, skill focuses. Those are both right there. That's where you put that number in.
Yeah,
the
the drives
bottom-
you don't alter.
You do or don't?
Don't. The drives do not get altered. You just
I
have a
thought
4,
those
5, 6,
5s
7.
got added to that.
No, that's
By default.
skills. That's skills.
My fault.
No, it's all good. That's an understandable mistake.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to ask for clarification. Yeah, I've got it. I think.
I'm doing all these like window things on my end, and so I only kind of heard what he was saying. So I appreciate
trying-
catching that.
I had to remember where I saw that just so I can get clarification on it because I don't understand
Which one are you looking for?
what y'all mean. How I ended up getting those numbers in there like that.
I'll just
It
tell
was like
you,
a little box that showed it at the bottom.
Page
just-
105 has drives.
Not there. It was like a single page character. Yeah, there it is. On page 108, where it says character creation summary.
Yes.
Primary skill 6, secondary skill 5. Other skills are rated at 4.
Yes, those are skills. Skills are different.
Oh yeah, I'm like, yep, that's where I was fucked up. Y'all are right. I was like, drives not skills. Drives at step 6. Keep
That's
reading,
what drives
Thomas.
is fixed.
87654 with 8 being
Yep.
most important. Cool.
I need to go back and do skills too. There's a little more broad, and I glazed over those for now. I think they'll be easier to focus in on in a moment.
I got it. 87654.
But yeah, so I'm just gonna keep talking. If you're not caught up, it's not a big deal. I'm just gonna keep on spouting this shit out. Step 4, focuses. You're gonna choose 4 focuses, which are found on page 103. Choose 4 focuses and assign them the skills listing on page 103. Those are, I believe, are the ones that are kind of up to you. Don't
We
be
get to
too
pick-
specific, but don't
We
be
get the big
specific.
4 focuses of whatever we want here.
Yeah. So you can pick like acting, dramatic, or acting, lying, or stuff like that.
They have a
to go
suggestion that one of
underneath,
them-
like that tree.
What's that?
Like, do they have to go underneath the skill tree that's next to them?
The
Like
focuses.
it says, yeah.
So
Like a
you
battle
you
on
have
the
to
skill
you have
tree.
to pick which skill you're assigning it under, and then
Yeah, battle, communicate, discipline, move.
Yeah. So you pick one of
And
those
then-
like battle, sword master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have, like, as the Space and Guild agent, like, our number one, tactic or whatever is move. So should we be putting the higher number into that and building it because of that, or should it not matter?
Well, move can be a lot of things, but it doesn't really matter. Just kind of pick. It's going to define how your character plays. So it's more play style based.
Yeah, from what I read, it looked like it was like these are suggestions that because some of our talents will link into moves that are unique to us that no one else can get. But it's like,
Yeah.
well, what if I don't want to take those? It's like you don't have to. You can. I'm a guild agent that's really good at sword fighting. Why? Because I am.
Okay, cool.
Which that throws me. That's a big shift from STA. I will say it's like, wait, but I'm not a pilot. But I'm a pilot. Yeah, but you can do whatever. You sure? I'm pretty sure I only have certain choices.
Yeah. They do give you a lot of rope here.
Enough
For
to
good
make us
nail.
But yeah, I mean, you can look at the examples. You can also take the examples if you so choose. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But they are there. They're there for both example and for just sake of ease. If you don't have to get too crazy with it. And then after the focuses, it's don't forget to do your statements about your top 3 drives. And also eventually pick an ambition. These are things you can like ruminate on. You can just have it done by next week. And feel free, obviously we're all in the Discord. Feel free to bug me. I'm always around. Cause I'm a loser.
All I heard was bug you.
Yeah, you can just bug me, just cause. I don't mind. I like being bugged.
I have evidence on it. Everyone in chat knows that you said that now.
I have asked for trolling.
Somebody clip that. Just
I can.
No.
There you go. I just pressed the button
And
and
that-
clipped it.
No one else is allowed to bug him. I am. Just so well, everyone else is stupid. None of you are. Well, actually, you might be.
So
I'll stop.
after all of that, you get to do talent, and then technically you're supposed to do drives and drive statements, but you could have already knocked that out. It's fine. Step 7 is assets. You're gonna have 3 things like that you own. They only one of them has to be a physical thing, but the other two can be more abstract, like a family or bank holdings or something. You can have stuff. I do believe one of them can be one of the helicopter things. Like you can kind of get some leeway there. And yeah, it says finishing touches are traits, ambitions, and personal details, like a name. But obviously names as well can wait.
Assets. Aren't soldiers one of the assets that we read about?
They could be.
That's what's weird about this system. It's like it's not just stuff. It's like you're military.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a squad of armed guys right outside the door. They escort me everywhere because I'm a general. Like that's what you do when you're a general.
Now it reminds me of like it reminds me of like D10 systems. A lot of them have that where you can have like retainers or allies, that kind of thing. And you can put points into them, like their stats. And like, so if you have an allies of 5, which is really high, you might know like an entire clan of ninja, like that are your friends, like, or it could be an allies 1 and you just kind of know this one guy, that won't ask too many questions. And that's where the assets in this game kind of range like that, which is cool. I will find out more about them, though, for you, as it is my job. It says they're on page 189. Are you guys on assets already? That's exciting.
So I think I am.
189. Boom. Yeah, there you go. Assets. There is one notable thing to people that aren't familiar with the setting. Garrett, you were right. There are like laser guns, but you can't use them. They're illegal because if you hit somebody that has like a personal shield, it causes a nuclear explosion. So,
and personal shields are pretty common.
So if you shoot somebody with a personal shield with a laser gun, everybody dies. So they're very outlawed.
It's to the point as well. I remember reading the book, and I didn't know it was this bad. But it's like, oh, by the way, Mr. GM, just so you're aware, if your players decide, caution to the wind, let's take them with us, their house is gone. The Landstrat goes, no, never again. You are done. It's like, oh, okay. Because in lore, they get it's like a massive deal because they had a lot of atomics issues and they kind of don't want to wipe out all their planets.
Yeah.
They definitely don't want to wipe out the one that has spice.
They regulate them the same way they regulate nuclear weapons. It's like this.
So you can use atomics. The use of atomics is very super controlled. You have to use them in very specific circumstances. And if you were like mining, you could blow up a mountain to find stuff, but you can't use it to blow up a city because you could you're using atomics on people, and that's not allowed due to one of the treaties.
Using atomic bombs for mining seems unnecessary.
How deep do you have to go? And what are you mining for?
We're just gonna break the whole planet and then harvest the corpse.
Yeah.
So assets can be tools and resources. That's what they are. The structure of an asset. All assets share a common structure that lets you see what they're useful for and how effective they are at a glance. The assets are used during a conflict, as described in Chapter 6, to overcome opponents, obstacles, and just like traits. Sorry, I'm kind of reading to myself a little bit.
Oh yeah, squads of troops is right there.
Nice. Yeah, creating and developing an asset. Main player characters begin play with 3 assets. As described on page 22, we already went there. Notable supporting characters have a single one. And minor characters don't have any, except at the game master's discretion. The NPCs, obviously, they can have whatever I say they have.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. Let's see. So intangible assets can be created in most situations as they have no physical form and thus tend to represent the benefits of a position, information gained, contacts, favors, and similar benefits. What kind of intangible assets are created depends on the circumstances and actions taken. The drawback to intangible assets are often easier to lose. They can be taken from your character or rendered useless with relative ease because they are intangible. Knowledge can be invalidated, positions can be lost. The intangible assets, obvious, things, stuff are tangible assets, including things like troops, vehicles.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take some elite troops that are trained like special general bodyguard type, and I'll probably up their quality a little bit. And then I'm also going to take an armored ground transport so I can bring all those troops and our whole party around with me if I need to.
That's kind of funny.
And did you pull that from a table, or you were just like, yeah, I just want this?
I just said that out of my brain.
All right, just making sure. I'm like looking at this assets page. I'm like, man, there's a lot of stuff I'm missing.
No, I just pulled that right out of my dome piece. I'm not sure what quality they're supposed to have yet.
That's something we'll figure out.
Yes.
Determination and assets.
Do you see on the left there, Thomas, the making it personal for assets?
Mm-hmm.
The gist of that is don't start with a knife or a belt or a cape because you can just get those things.
Yeah.
Unless it's really important that you have a knife at all times.
All right, I have a request then.
Mm-hmm.
I would like a device as one of the envoys for travel and spy and smuggler, that when someone is coming to like check data, I'm able to like quick scramble it to like falsify shit.
So there aren't a lot of computers in
Yeah,
this
funny you
setting.
mentioned
Yeah, how do we
Yeah.
documents then? Oh, cool. We're doing it on paper.
It is
yeah,
on paper.
I got that.
Just you want to have a shredder, basically.
Yeah, so it's illegal to make any computer that has the capacity to do anything that could be even
And-
remotely construed as
You
some-
cannot be.
Some sort of forgery equipment for me
Forgery
being able to
Yeah, that's
to
good.
do some whatever their equivalent of that is. I want some forgery tools to
You
and
can,
be good at them.
since you're the spy master, you can literally right now you can pick spies as an asset, and so
Oh,
now
yeah.
you have spies in your employ.
Yep, I'll do that too. Give me some spies.
So you
and
got
that's
forgery
exactly-
stuff and spies.
I went with agents right out the gate.
Is there any way that I can put those spies employ in the travel guild?
Like,
They might be
And
travel
that's
guild
facing
spies.
yeah, they could just be travel guild spies if that's what you want.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they're mine.
Yeah, they'd be yours.
It's like, wait, they let you have spies? Don't worry, they're working for you. No, really, you can totally trust me. We're here
Everybody
to
who-
help you with your travel needs.
Yeah,
Why do they all have black clothes? Never
my
you mind, sir.
contractual obligation says I'm allowed to bring 4 spies with me at my date of employment. Oh yeah, sir. Everybody has a contract like that.
And your other thing, your intangible asset, if you so choose, could be like you know something, you have proof of something, you have dirt on someone, or you know something's going to happen. It could be stuff like that. It could be information. It can be
a big old spy transfer around. Can I know the moment that house is about to gain power to strike us?
Oh, you want to know something about one of your rival houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like their war plan or something like that. It's like, I already know when they're going to take a shot at me.
That
I'm just waiting for
is-
that trigger event
Yeah.
to go off.
That is something
Yep.
you could pick, and that's a good thing to have.
So, artillery, that seems like something an envoy should have.
So Thomas, your 3 are forgery equipment, spies that work for the travel guild and you, and then knowledge of rival houses' plans. I put it like that. One day I'm gonna be like, hey, guess what?
I'm talking about like some legit forgery equipment, not something I could get at like.
Oh
a
yeah,
market.
if it's an asset, it's pretty quality. Yeah.
Because with anything that's even quality 0 from it can make things that normally wouldn't be possible without it possible. Well, like our general could not neatly pin down one well-armed guy, but if he has all his buddies with him who are elite guards, it's like, arrest that man, snaps fingers. It's like, oh, he can just do that. I can't do that. I mean, I'd have to fight that guy.
So Jahan,
Yes. Yeah, I would not go well for something.
my intangible, I'm floating. I've got the idea one step ahead, and that I know when war is imminent, and I always strike first. Is that a thing?
I mean, that's pretty broad. Like Thomas's is like he knows when specifically one of the houses is planning a specific attack. So it can't really be as broad as knowing when war is always coming.
I mean, more to strike first. I would like to. If that's a thing. I don't know if that's.
That's
You
really
realize the opportunity, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, what it could be. I was just thinking about it. If you were given if you had like a mandate from the ruler saying you have rights, independent rights to strike on your own accord. Like you don't need to check with him. But when you use it, you have to turn that in. It's like, no, this is my writ of privilege. Here you go. You cannot disobey me. The ruler of this house said I could.
I'm going to call it a writ of aggression, and thank you for that idea.
No, that's not bad. So I'm gonna say it's for.
That's cool.
It seems like it's probably for the same house, the minor house that works for the same house as you, and you asked like ahead of time, like, hey, they're being aggressive. I want to be allowed to strike at them if I need to, and so you have that permission from your ruling house. I'm gonna come up with the ruling house and all that stuff. You guys can have input if you guys want to tell me anything during the week. Like, hey, I think our ruling house should be this. I might throw it in,
But I mean, I should look this up. I mean, are there any houses left on except the time when we start the story? Probably.
Probably. I could just make it them, if that is what you so desire.
I don't want to make that. That should be like something I think we vote on, like in chat maybe, because it'll be one person to make up. Yeah.
Oh, one asset I'm gonna take an orbital transport.
Yeah. There you go. I was saying I got that armored ground vehicle. I was hoping somebody caught on that we need a way to fly that baby around.
So just like a shuttlecraft kind of thing. Right? Or do you want like a full spacey thing?
I'm reading how much latitude they're letting me hang myself here. Too big is bad for me as well, because if I lose it, I'm gonna get yelled at a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you lost. You know how many ships we have? Count them on one hand, dude. It's a guild design orbital transport. It's a way to move things around.
Orbital transport. Okay.
Or an orbital transport of that guy, yeah.
Fair. No, I have no problem letting you have that.
Oh, I should write that down. Because I was like, I think that's a thing.
Yeah,
yet another Dune thing's like, wait, I can just have a spaceship? Sure. Go ahead. We dare you. Oh, I don't like it when a game just says I can have things. I mean, yay, that's cool and all, but oh no.
Can I have a bicycle?
If you want.
Is that a thing in Dune?
You can also have a pony if you prefer.
What is that good machine, good sir?
Thomas has one of those giant wheeled, old-timey bicycles.
No, yeah. One of those old, what are they called?
Oh, did he mention his character is steampunk?
Oh, there goes House Massara's spy master.
Ding, ding, ding.
Fire with my eye, good sir.
That's the reason they call it a spyglass.
Gods
because
almighty.
he has one. Oh boy, that's funny.
So something I'm slightly like proud of. So ambition, I figured out. My character's ambition is to at some point in his life be the counselor of a great house, which either means he's looking to jump ship or he wants to raise the house up high enough to become a great house. It could go either way, which I think would be interesting.
Yeah. So you're talking about loyalty to this house or the major house?
I mean, that's it. He's right now he's trying to help raise the house up because he doesn't necessarily want to jump ship. But if like the house leader continues to not kind of be ambitious enough, he might. So like it could be interesting for role playing. Like I'm not gonna like turn on the party or anything, but like it'll be interesting. I think like interpersonal RPG.
Playing two sides of the field there can definitely be
Yeah.
interesting. So it is right around 11. That's normally our stop time. So we can continue to work on these characters throughout the week, all the way up until game time. If you have any questions, you guys can let me know. Does anybody have anything they would like to say before?
Our is the only truth.
I'm just really glad to be here that everything kind of worked out. I've been dying to play like a DUNE RPG forever, so this will be fun. Like, I mean, to a degree of being kind of fun. It's not like lighthearted story fun, but I'm very excited. So yeah.
I'm really glad to have met Corbinian and Calder and Laura. When you're meeting people online, you never know how they're going to be, and I think we got 3 winners. We hit it big.
I'm really having so too.
You kind of beat me there because I'm just kind of like all about me, like, oh, I'm so glad to be here. You're like, no, you guys are amazing. I'm like, okay.
Appreciate that. Anytime we do casting, we're always a little nervous.
Mm-hmm.
You never know how people are going to be. But you guys are dope. So
I'm glad you all met me as well.
Other than that, tomorrow is Thursday. That's Thursdage here on Fresh Out the Box. That means we play our favorite Green Ronin age games. Right now we're playing The Expanse every Thursdage. And so tune in to see Alicia and myself and Matt. I think Leighton's going to be off tomorrow. And then Friday is going to be our session 0 of Modern Age, which is going to be an every other week one-shot based campaign with a couple of major characters who are going to stick around. So if you're interested in one-shots and Modern Age and seeing a modern setting with probably some kind of magic and some silly business going on, stop by on Friday. Help us plan our session 0. Let us know what you want to see, and we'll put it in the game.
And if you want if you want a chance to win some Expanse content, tune in tomorrow. We're doing a giveaway every Thursday for player and GM bundles available every Thursday right here. And if you don't want to wait, you can use our greenroninstore.com/discount/freshoutthebox to get 5% off anything on Green Ronin and help us out at the same time.
And by help us out, of course, you mean put dollars in Green Ronin's pocket, put dollars in our pocket, and save money. Save 5% for yourself.
Yeah, monetary remuneration is what I am talking
about. We have to be very clear.
For legal purposes, I must declare. But yes, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I've been Johananon. I'm at RockFact on Twitter.
I'm Casualty CDG at Casualty CDG.
I'm Cal. I'm in nowhere in particular at the moment because I'm not on like social media a lot, but I'll be here next week. So, nice streaming and nice meeting everybody.
And this is Corbinian.
And I'm Corbinian at Electric Met CHSR and streaming every Saturday. Please check me out when you can, if you can. Otherwise, just stalk my Twitter and interesting things will probably happen there.
Yes, Corbinian is also a streamer. I'm going to have to get you a dynamic follow button for us so people can just follow you easier.
I'll have to do the same, I guess. Fine.
Thomas Avenger down here in Houston, Texas. Y'all, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one, everybody.
Yeah.
you